Chapter 860. Lin Xian only knew one thing, and that was that if you were to pursue a girl, you should never write poems or lyrics. That would make you an idiot. Of course, for a girl who also likes you, this might be a different kind of romance. But if she also likes you, then it would not be considered a pursuit, but a hit-off. The pursuit of love was a relatively long process. It could take a few weeks, or even many years. Under such circumstances, if you were to give her a confession poem on the Chinese Valentine's Day, then you would be an idiot. Perhaps after pursuing her for a few months, the girl already had some thoughts of being your girlfriend. But because of such a poem, the girl's hard-earned female hormones would disappear in an instant. And Xiao Runing's grandfather actually relied on this to pursue a girl. It seemed that he was a little something. Then if I write a poem for you, will you be my girlfriend? Lin Xian asked Xiao Runing. I will slap you to death. Little Xinue, what about you? +1. Lin Xian. Not far away, Su Jiming looked at Lin Xian and the others with a ruthless gaze. In addition to being a genius, he was also one of the famous 4 great talents in the City of Ice. In short, his poems were very powerful, and he had even been praised by many masters. He was not clear about Lin Xian's strength. He was just a kid from a 3rd-tier city. He felt that he could not be compared to him at all. But tonight, he wanted to crush this Lin Xian in all aspects. First of all, it was poetry. In the City of Ice, being able to compose poems and lyrics was worshipped by everyone, especially those who were able to reach the level of the older generation at such a young age. This was definitely an existence that the people of the City of Ice admired. That's right, he was basically such an existence. If he was only good at poetry, he would not be so confident. The main thing was that he was also a top genius in martial arts. Everyone, please be quiet. Lon Tianhai stood on the stage, glanced at the crowd, and said, Everyone on the stage quieted down. Last year, Jiming's Ode to the Beloved was strongly loved and sought after by all the masters. Ning Ning's Reflecting the Moon was loved by everyone and us. Of course, there were many other outstanding poems, but I won't mention them one by one here. This year's rules might be a little different from the past. In the past, us old folks who are already parents could participate, but us old folks aren't of much use anymore. So this year, we hope that you children, the future of our world, will be your home ground. So this year, us old guys will not participate. Reflection of the Moon? Read it for me. Lin Xian elbowed Xiao Runing and laughed. Xiao Runing's small face turned slightly red, feeling embarrassed. Scram. Lin Xian's shoulders. Now, all the young people who want to participate in this poetry gathering, please step forward. Then, dozens of people stepped forward. There were about 500 young men and women here, but only a few dozen people participated. Although Ice Country advocated culture, it was not easy to compose poems, especially in front of so many big shots in Ice Country. They did not want to embarrass themselves because their level was not high enough. However, there was still a martial arts competition. Although they advocated culture, they still preferred strength. Ning Ning, you're not participating? Xiao Runing and Xiao Xinue did not walk forward. They were more eye-catching. Then, Lon Tianhai asked. Xiao Runing said, I won't participate. I haven't touched anything in a year, so I won't embarrass myself. It will be boring if Sister Ning Ning doesn't come. Lon Xingxing pouted and said, It's fine. I'll participate in the martial arts competition later. Xiao Runing said with a smile. That's fine. Is there anyone else? Su Jiming looked at Lin Xian. He won't participate? Absolutely not. If he doesn't participate, how can he prove that he is better than him? At this time, Su Jiming stood up, looked at Lin Xian, and said, Young Master Lin, you won't participate? Lin Xian shook his head. I'll pass. I don't know how to write poems. Young Master Lin, don't be modest. As Ning Ning's boyfriend, you must have some outstanding qualities. Our Ice Country's girls looking for a boyfriend is actually quite important, and that's probably one of the things that Ning Ning likes, so young Master Lin, don't be modest. Lin Xian, Qin Ming also stood up and said, yes, young Master Lin, come and participate. We also hope that young Master Lin can participate in the martial arts competition later. We also want to see how young Master Lin is better than us in all aspects. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to pursue our Chengdu's beauty, right? Yes, yes. Young Master Lin, come. For a moment, many people were catering to them. Lin Xian rubbed the tip of his nose. I really don't know how to write poems. Xiao Runing also nodded and said, Lin Xian is from China. China doesn't advocate these things, so… Ning Ning, you're too modest. Remember a few years ago, you said that the standard of a future boyfriend is to know some poems? It's funny. For this, I spent a lot of energy studying, and only then did I have some small achievements. It's just that you've already found a boyfriend. It's a pity, so young Master Lin must have some attainments in this area. Su Zhiming said with a smile. This? Lin Xian nodded at this time. All right, then I'll show my incompetence a little. Everyone, don't make fun of me when the time comes. Hearing Lin Xian's words, Su Zhiming's plan had succeeded. Of course not. I just hope young Master Lin doesn't pretend to be a pig to eat a tiger. You're clearly very proficient, but you act like you're not, ha ha ha. Su Zhiming laughed. Of course, it was just a joke. In terms of poetry, he was definitely the best among his peers in this area. Even if Lin Xian wasn't Chinese, there was no way he could beat him. That shouldn't be the case. I don't know any poems. Lin Xian laughed. Ha ha ha, that's good too. If Ning Ning's boyfriend can participate, then it'll be interesting. Lon Tianhai laughed. Lin Xian. Xiao Runing looked at Lin Xian worriedly. How could she not know what Su Zhiming was thinking? Lin Xian was her boyfriend. What did it have to do with him whether he participated or not? Furthermore, he had asked Lin Xian to participate in front of everyone. Lin Xian had already rejected him, yet he still said it. It was obvious that he wanted to compete with him in front of everyone. As for Lin Xian, he really didn't know any poems. In any case, Xiao Runing's understanding of Lin Xian was that he was a bore. Composing poems and lyrics? Did this guy know how to recite them? It's fine, I'm just playing around. Lin Xian patted Xiao Runing's shoulder and walked forward. I'm preparing a new book. The world and genre are similar to this one. The main character is extremely flirtatious. For now, the titles are I have an unlimited number of new systems, I have a new system every day, and I have a billion new systems. If you see these three names, which one is easier to click on? I hope you leave a review. It's very important. Thank you. Chapter 861. Is there something wrong with him? Xiao Xinyue grumbled. There's something wrong with Tai. He knows he'll be humiliated, but he still went up. Xiao Runing shook her head helplessly. Although he was Chinese, when the time came, he would make some strange things that would make people laugh to death. What if he's hiding his strength? Xiao Xinyue mumbled. Xiao Runing, hiding his strength? He didn't even bother to go to the Sky Martial Court when he was in Tianhua City. Why would he go there to learn? Xiao Xinyue. Tai was done for. However, based on her understanding of Lin Xian, he was very smart. How could he embarrass himself? How could he not know what the other two were thinking? Since he knew, why did he still insist on going up the mountain despite knowing that it was dangerous? Perhaps this was something worth looking forward to. When Su Zhiming and Qin Ming saw that Lin Xian had taken the bait, they were overjoyed. Xiao Xian, if you really can't do it, just play around. Xiao Zun said to Lin Xian. He purposely raised his voice so that others could hear him. This was to protect Lin Xian. He knew that Lin Xian was Chinese and would not be good at poetry. Since there were dozens of young people here who were all talented, Lin Xian could not be compared to them. Therefore, he said that Lin Xian was just playing around. It would not be embarrassing even if he lost. I understand, uncle. Lin Xian nodded. Haha, young people are very brave. I hope you can show us something unexpected. Lon Tianhai said with a smile. I wouldn't dare. I'm just playing around. I don't know how to write poems. I just hope you won't mind. Lin Xian said with a fist salute. Su Jiming walked over and patted Lin Xian on the shoulder. Every elder here is very easygoing. Don't worry. And you don't have to be so modest anymore. Lin Xian smiled and nodded without saying anything. If that's the case, then let's begin the poetry competition. If there are any outstanding poems in this poetry competition, then I will consider including your poems in the textbook. Hearing Lon Tianhai's words, they were all shocked. In the textbook just now? Wasn't this passed down through the ages? Even if you can't, it's only for a short period of time. Within a short period of time, everyone will know your poem. Wow! How big of a cod was that? Of course, since it's in the textbook, it must mean that this poem is extremely outstanding and can't be an ordinary work. However, I think that with your talent, you will definitely be able to come up with a poem this time. Lon Tianhai said. Alright, let's start composing the poem now. The designated poem for you is Homesick. 20 minutes should be enough for you scholars to compose a poem. Then, let's begin now. You can walk around the entire venue and ponder. The rest of you can also chat with each other, eat some food, and wait for the children's results. But please don't disturb them. Impromptu composing a poem must have a limited theme. Every time, every year it would be different. If there wasn't a limited theme, then those people could have already composed the poem a long time ago. They could even get others to help them. How could this be considered impromptu? Of course not. Young Master Lin, do your best. This young master hopes to compete with your poem. Su Jiming patted Lin Xian on the shoulder and said with a smile. I will. Then, Su Jiming sneered and walked away with a pen and paper. He went to ponder over the poem. You will. Are you worthy? In a while, everyone will be able to hear the ridiculous poem that comes out of your mouth. Lin Xian bit his pen. It was unknown how long it had been since he touched a pen. Lin Xian's handwriting was already ugly. Now that he hadn't written in such a long time, it was really like a dog crawling. Xiao Runing looked at Lin Xian's pensive appearance and couldn't help but worry. Homesick poems should be very common. It wasn't too difficult to write, especially if you just casually made up a few sentences. But for Lin Xian, especially when looking at his furrowed brows, it felt like he was in a difficult situation. Yes, Lin Xian was really in a difficult situation. The poems that he learned the most on Earth were homesick poems, right? Which one should he copy? Elder Xiao, how are your grandson-in-law's accomplishments in poetry? Lon Tianhai sat at the judge's table and asked Xiao Qingqing beside him. To be honest, I don't know either. But it shouldn't be comparable to the ones here. After all, China has never advocated this aspect. Their accomplishments in this aspect naturally can't compare to Ice Country. Xiao Qingqing said this to give face to Lin Xian. He wanted others to think that Lin Xian didn't have much accomplishments from the start and didn't have high expectations. This way, even if his poems weren't good, they would have a pardonable view of him. It's just that I feel that since he's participating, he should have something. Lon Tianhai also gave Xiao Qingqing a lot of face by saying this. Time slowly passed. Su Jiming and a few others finished in 10 minutes. Then, Su Jiming walked to Lin Xian's side to take a look. It was still blank. He couldn't help but laugh disdainfully in his heart. As expected, he didn't know at all. Young Master Lin, are you still thinking? Su Jiming said. It's about time. Then I won't disturb you any more. Su Jiming then walked away with a smile. At the same time, Lin Xian also started writing. Those ugly words were written on the paper. After a few seconds, Lin Xian's movements stopped. Xiao Runing, who had been paying attention to Lin Xian, felt her heart skip a beat. There was no time. Why did he stop? At this time, Lin Xian raised his head and looked at Xiao Runing. That. Ning Ning, how do you write night can't be May? Everyone, Xiao Runing, Xiao Zun and the others' mouths couldn't help but twitch. Really, Lin Xian's words made many people hold back their laughter. It's fine if you don't know how to write poems, but you also don't know how to write? This really confirmed that he doesn't know how to write poems. A person who doesn't even know how to write can write poems? Xiao Runing then walked over and took Lin Xian's pen and paper. She helped him write the word. When she saw Lin Xian's dog-like words, she simply wanted to cry. Little brother, you'll be laughed at to death like this. Then why did you participate? Xiao Runing helplessly thought. Lin Xian then looked at Lan Tianhai and said, Uncle Lan, it should be fine to let Ning Ning help me write some words, right? Of course it's fine. Lan Tianhai said. Lin Xian nodded and then added in the last sentence. All right, time's up. Now, everyone quiet down. Everyone, recite your poems in order. We will evaluate your poems. Lan Tianhai said. Chapter 862. Then, one scholar after another recited their own poems. How should it be said? To be able to improvise a poem in such a short period of time, their standard was naturally not too high, but it was not bad either. After all, their foundation was there, and they were considered average. However, it was naturally impossible for them to be included in textbooks. Lan Tianhai and the others were also quite satisfied. None of them were bad. Elders, this poem that I composed is called Late Moon Thoughts. Qin Ming said faintly. Read it. Again, tonight's parting rain. After Qin Ming finished reading, everyone was silent for a while. As expected of Qin Ming. As one of the 4 great scholars, he is indeed extraordinary. Yes. This Late Moon Thoughts is a level higher than those people from before. Maybe it can enter the textbooks. AI, comparisons are odious. I'm afraid that only Su Zhiming can compare. Everyone discussed spiritedly. The dozen or so elders on the judging panel also discussed for a while. Then, Lan Tianhai said to Qin Ming, Very good. This poem of yours should be the best one up until now. Continue to work hard. Thank you, Uncle Lan. Qin Ming bowed slightly and then sat down with a smile. Next, Su Zhiming. Su Zhiming then stood up with a smile in everyone's eyes. There were many rich girls who looked at him and Qin Ming with adoration. Because they were both proficient in literature and martial arts, and they were also handsome. They were once the Prince Charming of these girls. Elders, the poem that Zhiming brought is called Thinking of My Lord. He paused and then read, My lord came from his hometown, so he should know the matters of his hometown. It was a simple sentence, but it made them ponder for a moment. That's right. Zhiming, your poem is on par with Qin Ming's. However, your poem has a few special words that are of a higher quality than Qin Ming's poem. If we're talking about this, your poem should be better than Qin Ming's. However, I'll give you 2 of 50 score. Xiao Qingqing nodded and said, Thank you, Elder Xiao. Su Zhiming smiled and sat down. Basically, his song was already the best. At least, it was the best song in this round. He glanced at the people behind him. There was no one who was a threat to him. Next, Lin Xian. Lan Tianhai and the others looked at Lin Xian. It was not that Lin Xian was very eye-catching. In fact, he was indeed eye-catching. He was the son-in-law of the Xiao family and Xiao Runing's boyfriend. However, what did everyone want to see more? He made a fool of himself. Because if you got something that they couldn't, jealousy and envy would surge up. What right do you have to get it? Why can't I? With this kind of mentality, he especially hoped that this person would embarrass himself. It was the kind of feeling that no one in the world should have a better life than him. There were simply too many people with this mentality. Su Zhiming thought about how Lin Xian had not written a single word just now. What kind of poem could he write now? He would definitely make a fool of himself. Xiao Runing and Xiao Xinyue also looked at Lin Xian worriedly. After all, Xiao Runing had just said Lin Xian's words to Xiao Xinyue. It was simply unbearable to look at. Xiao Xinyue originally had a little bit of hope for Lin Xian, but it instantly disappeared. Lin Xian stood up and said, "Seniors, my poem is called Autumn Thoughts." Autumn Thoughts? Actually, this poem's name is already too common. An old man said to Lin Xian. Lin Xian nodded. Yes, there is more than one poem with this name. However, I feel that the name of a poem is not too important. It's mainly because my ability is limited. I don't have that much time to think about the name of a poem. And that's fine. Then recite your poem. Lin Xian nodded. Xiao Runing's little heart was already in her throat. She was begging him, "Please don't let other people laugh their heads off." Everyone else was already prepared to be laughed at. Autumn comes under the fortress. The scenery is different. Hungyong wild geese don't pay attention. Voices rise from all directions. For thousands of miles, the smoke sets and the sun closes the lonely city. With a cup of turbid wine, one can travel 10,000 miles. Yen Ran returns without any plans. The Chong pipes are long and frost covers the ground. People can't sleep. The general's hair turns white and the husband cries. After Lin Xian finished reciting, everyone was silent. Yes, everyone was shocked. This poem was written by Lin Xian? This poem. Xiao Xian, quick, let me see it. Xiao Qingqing said impatiently. Oh. Then Lin Xian handed the poem over. Lon Tianhai and the others all looked over. When Xiao Qingqing and the others saw it, the corners of their mouths couldn't help but twitch. These words were too ugly, right? But, if one were to disregard this ugly character, Lon Tianhai couldn't help but stand up. Then, he wrote down Lin Xian's poem on the blackboard with his beautiful handwriting. Everyone's eyes were on it. Xiao Runing's little mouth opened slightly. This was written by Lin Xian? The crowd might not have heard it clearly when they first heard it, but now that they were looking at the vigorous and powerful poem on the blackboard, they were all dumbfounded. The depth of the poem, the style between the lines, and everything else was too good. Not to mention anything else, at least it crushed Su Zhiming and Qin Ming's poems. Moreover, they both wrote poems. Poems were much more difficult than 4-line poems. The word count was also much higher. This was really written by Lin Xian? Xiao Xinyue looked at Xiao Runing in confusion. It should be. Xiao Runing wasn't sure either. As for Xiao Zun and Yi Qianling, their faces were flushed red. Really, they thought Lin Xian would lose face, but they didn't expect this poem to be so good. Voices rise from all sides. For thousands of miles, the smoke sets and the sun closes the lonely city. People can't sleep, the general's hair turns white and the husband cries. Lon Tianhai and the others repeatedly recited the most shocking lines. These 2 lines were definitely the essence of the poem. Xiao Xian, your poem is expressing, Lin Xian said. It's actually expressing the warriors and generals of the 3 factions that guard the borders. They guard the borders day after day, year after year, stopping the invasion of demon beasts. It's very tiring, but it's worthy of respect. I've lived in the border cities all year round. Whether it was Tianhua City or Lin and City after Tianhua City fell, I've personally witnessed the fall of cities. I've also personally participated in the fight against the demon beasts. I might understand these things better than many people from the interior. Do they miss home? Naturally, so this poem is actually expressing their feelings of homesickness, not mine. Good. 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 Xiao Qingqing looked at Lin Xian with satisfaction. It said that poetry is a form of sustenance to express one's emotions. Only with true emotions can one write a good poem. Without such emotions, the poem would be soulless. You've experienced it before, which is why you can write such a good adverb. Not bad. I didn't expect you to amaze me so much just from today onwards. Thank you for bringing such a good poem. I also thank you on behalf of the soldiers guarding the borders. Lon Tianhai walked down and patted Lin Xian's shoulder. Chapter 863. Everyone was flabbergasted, because they could not believe it. Was this improvised composition by Lin Xian? But if it was not, they had never heard of this poem before. Then it must be an original composition. As for whether it was prepared for him in advance, the possibility was not high. Because not many people knew the theme this time, there was no way to prepare in advance. More importantly, Lin Xian had always refused to participate. If not for Su Zhiming repeatedly inviting him to participate, he would not have participated. Good luck. I hope you can have great accomplishments in both literature and martial arts. This poem is the best one I've seen today. Patriarch Lan, in my opinion, this poem should be able to enter the textbooks, right? At this time, an old man who was also a judge said, "Yes, you have the qualifications." Everyone was shocked beyond words. Lan Tianhai then explained to them, whether it is the style or the standard of this poem, it is top-notch. No one would believe that it was written by a young man in his early 20s. More importantly, this poem expresses the homesickness of the soldiers who guard the border and deserve our respect. At the same time, it can also express the seriousness of the current situation. It will have a very positive impact on society. Such a poem is qualified to be included in the textbooks. It can give younger children some inspiration and a deep-rooted impression from childhood. Su Zhiming clenched his fists, his expression ugly. Nonsense, he was supposed to humiliate him and crush him, but he was the one who got crushed. Young Master Lin's accomplishments in poetry can be said to be the cream of the crop. I'm very curious. Young Master Lin was born in China, and China does not pay much attention to this aspect. How did young Master Lin come to possess such literary talent? Although it is important to have experience in this area, the prerequisite is that you have to have a stomach full of ink. Su Zhiming asked. Actually, this sentence was a question. How could a Chinese in his early 20s write such a poem? Many people didn't quite believe it either. They all looked at Lin Xian. Lin Xian smiled and said, "Actually, it's very simple. Although China doesn't pay as much attention to this as Iceland, there are still many schools in China that set up 9 subjects. After all, you can't just be a simple-minded martial artist. Since I was young, I'm not afraid to tell you that I don't have the Son of God system." What? Everyone was shocked. Lin Xian then said, "Without the God-child system, I can't cultivate. What can I do? That's why I'm different from most Chinese or you guys. I can only learn. That's the only way out." Later on, I slowly realized that the sea of knowledge is really wonderful. I only managed to awaken the God's child system after a long time. However, cultivation can no longer replace my love for learning. I love learning. Even after I entered the Sky Martial Court, I'm more willing to improve my knowledge in the 9 subjects. Perhaps that's the reason why I love learning. Everyone, it's not easy. It's really not easy. It's also because of life. It's just that you've never awakened the Son of God system late. However, the world is so big, and there are so many strange things in the world. It's not surprising. But now, you've become a martial artist with outstanding literary talent. You even managed to woo the beautiful Ning Ning of the Shao family in Ice City. You can say that you've reached the peak of your life. However, all of this is the result of your own hard work. Little Xian, your deeds are worthy of learning from all the children here. Lan Tianhai exclaimed. Shao Runing. That's right. Shao Runing could not help but twitch the corner of her mouth. Are you talking nonsense? Others might believe it, but she didn't. Yes, you've awakened the Son of God system late, but you love learning. You love to swim in the ocean of knowledge. Tui. Shameless. Other than flirting with girls in the academy, when have you ever gone to a place where you learn the 9 subjects? Others might not know, but how could she not know? Therefore, it was very strange. How did this bastard come up with such a good poem? Lin Xian nodded. It's not to the extent of learning. Hard work is indeed important, but I think it's more about talent. Because I feel that I have talent in learning, and I even have a photographic memory. Talent is indeed very important. Lan Tianhai nodded. I see. Then I must learn from young Master Lin. Su Jiming said unwillingly. Of course, she didn't believe it. Do you have literary talent? Do you even have ink in your stomach? Anyway, this poetry gathering isn't over yet. There's more to come. If you can't come up with such a good poem, then won't you be exposed? Because of Lin Xian, the faces of the Shao family's elders were practically glowing. Is what he said true? Shao Xinyue moved closer to Shao Runing and asked in a low voice. What do you think? Shao Runing asked. It's fake. Although her understanding of Lin Xian was not as deep as Shao Runing, this little bit of understanding made her feel that Lin Xian was definitely not such a person. Love learning? Nonsense. Then that's it. Shao Xinyue. But how did he come up with such a good poem? I also want to know. I just hope that he didn't plagiarize someone else's poem. Otherwise, he will definitely be exposed in the following poetry gathering. Shao Runing sighed. Plagiarism was definitely plagiarism, but it would definitely not be exposed. Good. This poetry gathering's first round has already amazed me. Next, let's move on to the second topic assessment. Lon Tianhai said. Lin Xian, you said it in such a dignified manner, but there are many who don't believe it. You might have guessed it, but I don't believe that you can come up with such a poem. When that time comes and you are exposed, you will be the most despicable person. Su Jiming thought in his heart. Old Su, why don't you come up with the topic for the second round of assessment? Lon Tianhai said to an old man beside him. No need. I'm old. My thoughts are from a long time ago. I can't keep up with the thoughts of modern children. It's better for you young people to come up with it. I'll come. Lon Xingxing ran over and said happily. Don't mess around. No, I'll come. Lon Xingxing said coquettishly. You little girl. Xiao Zun laughed. I think it's really possible. Isn't it just a topic? It doesn't matter who comes up with it. It's best to be able to write any topic. Lon Tianhai nodded. Then what do you want to come up with? Lon Tianhai pinched his precious daughter's pink cheeks. Lin Xian has successfully pursued Sister Ning Ning. Then let's come up with a topic on how to chase a girl. Everyone, go, don't mess around. Lon Tianhai said helplessly. I think that makes sense. We can go with the flow and come up with a topic to express the feelings between a man and a woman. Or to write a poem about a beauty like Ning Ning. How about it? Chapter 864. Write about beautiful women. Many of the people present agreed with this suggestion from the bottom of their hearts. Especially Su Jiming. If he wrote a good poem and said that it was written with Shao Xinyue as the original character, would he be able to win her heart? Although writing poems was the dumbest way to pick up girls, one had to know that it depended on the occasion. In such an occasion, if he wrote a poem with Shao Xinyue as the original character and wrote it well and received everyone's approval, what would the effect be? It would satisfy the girl's vanity. Would this be effective in chasing her? The effect was simply too great. He couldn't get Shao Runing, but Shao Xinyue was just as beautiful. Moreover, this cold woman would feel even better when he conquered her. In fact, he had never expressed his admiration for Shao Runing to the public. He had only casually mentioned it in his conversation with Lin Xian. If he chased after Shao Xinyue, no one would say anything about him. Lon Tianhai nodded. Not bad, it's a good suggestion. Everyone here today, Ning Ning, Xinyue, and so on are all beautiful women. Beautiful women are as common as clouds. So be it. Let's write about beautiful women. What do you think? It's pretty good. Although it seems tacky, it's very realistic. Moreover, there aren't many poems in this area. However, I want to remind everyone of one thing. Shao Qingqing continued. Any poem needs to express some kind of emotion. Using objects to describe people, using objects to describe things. This theme can indeed express a simple description of a woman's beauty and yearning. However, I personally hope to add some other things to it. Elder Xiao, what do you think we can add to this description of beautiful women? I feel that it's a bit difficult. Another old man shook his head and said, I'm just suggesting. Of course, it's difficult. However, that's where the charm of poetry lies, isn't it? Children, I hope that you can display your intelligence. Yes. Then, let's start now. I'll give everyone 10 minutes for this round. There's a total of 30 minutes. I hope that you can come up with better works. Lon Tianhai said. Then, everyone took their notebooks and pens to think. At this time, Su Zhiming found an opportunity to strike up a conversation with Xiao Xinyue. President Xiao, I feel that this child, Zhi Ming, is interested in your family's second daughter. A middle-aged man smiled and said to Xiao Zun. That's good. Zhi Ming is also very outstanding. If the two of them can be together, as a father, I'd be very happy. Xiao Zun said. But my child is also interested in Xinyue. Oh. Qin Ming? He nodded. Sure, Qin Ming isn't any worse than Zhi Ming. If the two of them can be together, it's naturally good. It's just that the girl, Xinu, likes him. Why don't you? Mr. Xiao, if you're free, you can help set them up? Of course, there's no problem. Ning Ning's direction is set. Next is Xinyue. If she likes her, that's good. Su Zhiming frowned and looked at Su Zhiming, who was striking up a conversation with Xiao Xinyue. Su Zhiming wanted to pursue Xiao Runing before, but now she was being pursued by Lin Xian. What he said to Su Zhiming before was just to ridicule him. He liked Xiao Runing. But now, it seems like Su Zhiming has changed his direction and is pursuing Xiao Xinyue. Of course, that's not good. Qin Ming also coughed and walked towards Xiao Xinyue. Xinyue, about this poem, I think you should be able to give me some inspiration. Can I talk to you? Qin Ming smiled and walked over. Xiao Xinyue. To be honest, she didn't want to pay attention to him. But in this occasion, everyone was an elder. Even her parents were here. She couldn't not give him face. She was helpless. Young Master Qin, I was the one who talked to Xinyue first. There should be a first come, first served rule, right? Su Zhiming looked at Qin Ming and said. Hearing Su Zhiming's words, Qin Ming was sure that this bastard was going to make a move on Xiao Xinyue. Facing Su Zhiming, Qin Ming didn't have much confidence, because Su Zhiming was also very outstanding. Is there a first come, first served rule for this kind of thing? Young Master Su, aren't you a little too childish? Qin Ming smiled. Childish? How am I childish? The two of them stood there with smiles on their faces. At this moment, Lin Xian walked over. Sister-in-law, I wanted to look for your sister for inspiration to write this poem, but she asked me to look for you and talk? Okay. Then, Xiao Xinyue and Lin Xian walked away together. Su Zhiming. Qin Ming. What does Lin Xian mean? Su Zhiming frowned and said. What? He already has Xiao Runing as his girlfriend. Are you still worried that he will chase after Xiao Xinyue? But you, young Master Su, you're wrong. What? You still want to fight with me for Xiao Xinyue? Why not? Xiao Runing is already taken. Why can't this young master pursue Xiao Xinyue? Don't you know that this young master has liked her for a long time? When you wanted to pursue Xiao Runing, did I do anything to fight with you? Qin Ming said angrily. Before anyone can pursue Xinyue, everyone is equal. I have the right to pursue her. As for you, young Master Qin, let's see who's better. Su Zhiming said and walked away. You lost to this young master in the Sky Martial Assembly. Do you think you can compete with this young master? Hey, my dear little Xinyue, how are you going to thank me? Lin Xian and Xiao Xinyue stood by the window and asked with a smile. The two of them chatted together and didn't attract any suspicion. Who would have thought that Lin Xian not only wanted to make a move on his older sister, but also his younger sister? Thank you. Xiao Xinyue said indifferently. Wow. I helped you out and you're only going to thank me? I'll treat you to a meal when we get back. Do I need a meal from you? Xiao Xinyue. Then what do you want? We've agreed on the favor you owe me before. You'll give me a chance to pursue you in return, right? Xiao Xinyue didn't say anything. Then this time, it'll be a kiss. Xiao Xinyue. You'd better think about how to compose this poem. I heard from my sister that you don't like to study. Think about how to not let others find out that you don't have any real talent. Lin Xian. Damn. You think I plagiarized it? No, it could be a blind cat running into a dead mouse. You just happen to be able to write such a poem. But it's just a coincidence. It's impossible to write a second poem as good as this one, unless you have real talent. But you don't. Then what if I can come up with another poem that will shock everyone? What do you think we should do? Let's bet. Chapter 865. Lin Xian had discovered a super magical thing. No matter how hard it was to woo a girl, or what her personality was like, be it Linglong Shui or Linglong Yu, they all had one thing in common, and that was that they would never admit defeat. If it was a bet, then so be it. Why would he be afraid of her? Xiao Xinyue was the same. A bet. Why would he be afraid of her? What bet? How could Xiao Xinyue admit defeat to Lin Xian? Didn't you say that I can't write good poems? If I can write another poem that will shock everyone, then you have to be my girlfriend. Xiao Xinyue. Was he that confident? Normally, she would have been fooled by Lin Xian, but her sister had clearly said that this Lin Xian had never learned the 9 subjects or anything like that. He didn't understand at all. What if you lose? Tell me. Xiao Xinyue pondered for a moment, then said, if you lose and don't shock everyone, then you have to help me do 3 things. As for what they are, I don't know for now. Lin Xian started acting again, but he looked hesitant. 2. 3. Then, it has to be within my ability. Okay. Xiao Xinyue heard Lin Xian's hesitation and cowardice, and as expected, she fell for it. She thought that he definitely couldn't write it, then said, you can't go back on your word. Okay. Lin Xian nodded, then said, then if you lose, you have to be my girlfriend. Okay. Xiao Xinyue said confidently. She didn't know how sinister people could be. Lin Xian was laughing in his heart. In Xiao Xinyue's opinion, even if Lin Xian had some literary talent, how could he shock everyone? The previous poem was indeed good, and it almost shocked everyone. The main reason was that the first poem was very good, and it would be accepted by many people. However, because of the first poem, the expectations for the second poem would be even higher. Moreover, the second poem was about a beautiful woman. This kind of position was very different. If it did not meet this expectation, then even if it was written well, it would only be shocking, but it would not be able to shock everyone. To ensure that she would win, Xiao Xinyue continued, also, it has to be written in the textbook. Lin Xian. Wah. Aren't you too ruthless? You said it, you can't go back on your word. Xiao Xinyue said proudly. You. Lin Xian looked like he was deflated. Seeing Lin Xian's look, Xiao Xinyue's heart was her. Didn't he shoot himself in the foot? Did he want her to be his? In your dreams. Hurry up and write, it's already been more than 10 minutes. Especially when Xiao Xinyue realized that more than 10 minutes had passed, which meant that Lin Xian only had 10 minutes left. How could he write a poem that could shock everyone and even enter the textbook? You're ruthless. Wait until you become my girlfriend, I'll make you cry. Lin Xian spat out some harsh words before walking away. Xiao Xinyue. Bastard. When you lose, the first thing I'll do is make you bark like a little puppy. Xiao Xinyue thought evilly. Lin Xian walked to his seat, sat down, and wrote a question without hesitation. Song of Everlasting Regret. Little guy, do you still think you've won? I'm sorry, but I'll definitely have you as my girlfriend. Song of Everlasting Regret. Lin Xian's impression of this poem was simply too deep. It was mainly because the story told in this poem was simply too tragic, yet too beautiful, and too helpless. The entire poem was very long, but there were many famous lines that had been passed down. Such a poem was written by a poet for many years before it was completed. Could such a poem win everyone's applause? If they couldn't win, then there was really a problem with their taste and literary talent. Lin Xian still remembered that it took him a lot of effort to memorize this thing. Lin Xian finally started writing, and it attracted the attention of many people. 5 minutes, 8 minutes. Many of those people had been paying attention to Lin Xian, but they were curious. Why? Because it had been 8 minutes since he started writing, and his pen hadn't stopped. What is this kid writing? He's probably written a few hundred words, right? Lon Tianhai and the others were very curious, but they didn't look because it wasn't good to look at it now. It was better to keep a trace of hope in their hearts. Xiao Xinyue also saw that Lin Xian had been writing for a long time. Then, she couldn't help but go over to take a look. She finally understood what her sister meant when she said that the words were like a dog's crawl. It was too ugly. What are you looking at? Don't disturb my thoughts. Let me tell you, if I don't win, it's you who disturbed me. Lin Xian said. Xiao Xinyue. Then, she walked away silently. Who would want to see it? It was too ugly. How is it? What did he write? He's been writing furiously. Xiao Runing asked. I didn't see it clearly. It's too ugly. Xiao Xinyue said lightly. Xiao Runing held back her laughter. But it seems like he wrote a few hundred words. Ah. He's writing an essay? Xiao Runing was dumbfounded. It was normal to write a poem with more than 100 words. It was a few hundred words. What kind of nonsense did he have to cook up? Su Jiming also came over to take a look in surprise. Then, he was directly persuaded by Lin Xian's dog's crawl. He held back his laughter in his heart. What was the point of writing so much? All right. Time's up. Please put down your pens and ink. Lon Tianhai said. Clatter. At the same time, Lin Xian put down his pen and let out a long sigh. Damn it! Writing 840 words in 10 minutes wasn't easy. Luckily, my handwriting is ugly. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to finish it. Lin Xian muttered in his heart. I don't know why, but this is the one I've been looking forward to the most in so many years. What about you guys? Lon Tianhai asked. Everyone nodded. Yes, this topic is very difficult. Under the premise that it's written well, it's even more difficult to not be conventional. I'm looking forward to the performance of all the scholars. Then, let's begin. Then, one by one, they recited their own poems. It was still Su Jiming, Qin Ming, and Lin Xian ending it. Sigh. Hearing the poems recited by those people, everyone was a little disappointed. It wasn't bad, but each of their poems didn't deviate from the conventional. They only expressed pure love and love. It was said that poems were used to express emotions. They borrowed something to express something. Of course, for beauties, emotions were also considered emotions. There was nothing wrong with expressing love. It was very pure. However, everyone was looking forward to something more. Who could express something else by writing about beauties and love? This was what they were looking forward to, and it was also impressive. Of course, it wasn't to say that the ones in front were bad. Of course, it was good. It was just lacking a feeling that made them stunned. Chapter 866. At this time, Qin Ming stood up and said, Elders, the name of this little one's poem this time is My Fair Lady. And read it. Then, Qin Ming slowly recited the poem he had composed. After reading it, the surroundings were silent for a while. Lon Tianhai and the others were discussing something. After a while, Lon Tianhai said, Not bad. To be able to compose 8 lines in such a short period of time, and the standard of each line is very high. Although it's purely about love and beauty, it wins in terms of the standard. The expression of emotions is more realistic. It should be the best poem in this round so far. Good luck. Thank you, Uncle Lon. This poem was inspired by Xin Yue. Qin Ming slightly bowed and said, "Oh, could it be that the woman in the poem is Xin Yue? With Xin Yue as the model, I'm very satisfied to receive everyone's affirmation." Qin Ming said with a smile, "Xiao Xin Yue, ha ha ha, Elder Xiao, it seems that your little granddaughter is also going to be single." Lon Tianhai smiled and said to Xiao Qingqing. Xiao Qingqing said, "Let the children decide on their own matters." At this time, Su Jiming stood up and said, "Young Master Qin, although writing 8 lines in 30 minutes is not bad, your poem is still 4 lines short compared to this young master's New Moon." Qin Ming frowned. Then Su Jiming slightly bowed and said, "Elders, the poem that Jiming brought is called New Moon. It was also inspired by Xin Yue. The following is the content. Lin Xian, wow. These F***king bootlickers are each better than the other." Lin Xian couldn't help but secretly click his tongue. The title of the poem New Moon is here. You're also a F***king talent. After Su Jiming finished reading, Qin Ming's frown deepened. It was already very difficult to compose 12 lines in half an hour. Furthermore, it was even more difficult to maintain the quality of the poem. Not bad, not bad. Lon Tianhai and the others nodded in satisfaction. Although it's just a poem that expresses love, its standard is about the same as Qin Ming's. At the same time, it has 4 more lines than Qin Ming's. It's very good. The poem depicts a very beautiful moonlit night. The name of the poem, New Moon, has 2 meanings. It also takes the lead in the name of the poem. Everyone, this New Moon should be the best poem in this competition, right? Lon Tianhai asked the crowd. Everyone nodded. Many thanks, seniors. Su Jiming smiled and bowed. He glanced at Xiao Xinyue, who was not far away. Both of them want to pursue you? Xiao Runing nudged Xiao Xinyue with her elbow. It's their business whether they chase after me or not. Xiao Xinyue naturally did not care, because she did not have a good impression of them. It's Lin Xian's turn. Let's see what he can write. Next, Lin Xian. Lon Tianhai and the others looked at Lin Xian. Lin Xian, I saw you chatting with Xinyue just now. After chatting, you sat down and wrote a poem. Did you get the inspiration for this adverb from that girl Xinyue? Lon Tianhai joked. Family head Lon, you can't say that. Ning Ning is still here. A middle-aged man laughed. Ha ha ha, I don't mean anything else. Lin Xian then said, no, the inspiration for this poem came from a novel. Although this was a true story, it was a story from his world. There was no such story in this world, so Lin Xian could only say that the inspiration came from a novel. Oh, then you're in trouble. How can the emotions in a novel be replaced by your own experience in reality? Lon Tianhai then asked, just now, I saw you writing at full speed for more than 10 minutes. How many lines did you write in these 10 minutes? 120 lines. 7 words per line. Everyone. 120 lines. 7 words per line? 840 words? In just 10 minutes, you wrote a poem of 840 words? Hearing Lin Xian's words, they were shocked. Wasn't this too exaggerated? To write so many words in such a short time, it can't be a running account, right? If it's a running account, everyone here should be able to do it. Su Jiming said. To be honest, with this amount of time and words, it was hard to believe that he could write a good work. Xiao Runing also frowned. 840 words? He really wrote a composition? Read it out for us. Lon Tianhai said. Lin Xian nodded. The Han Emperor's love overturned the country. Yu yearned for it for many years. The Yong family had a daughter who grew up and was raised in a boudoir. Born with a natural beauty, she chose to be by the side of the emperor. Looking back with a smile, the beauties of the 6 palaces paled in comparison. When Lin Xian simply read out the first few lines, everyone was speechless. Yes, at the beginning, they thought that it might be a running account. But just from the first few lines, which one of them was a running account. Even the first few lines made them think that it could be passed down through the ages. The Han Emperor's love overturned the country. Born with a natural beauty, she yearned for it. Looking back with a smile, the beauties of the 6 palaces paled in comparison. Just this directly described the woman in the poem to the fullest. Devastatingly beautiful. Looking back with a smile, she yearned for it. The beauties of the 6 palaces paled in comparison. This. In heaven, we were willing to be lovebirds. On earth, we were willing to be entwined branches. Heaven and earth are everlasting. Sometimes it ends. This hatred will never end. 5 minutes later, Lin Xian read out the entire poem. To be honest, when Lin Xian was writing, he didn't feel much. But when he finished reading, his heart was filled with emotions. The image and story of this poem were simply too thick. This entire poem had written about a relationship, a story, and an era. Furthermore, running account. I want you to find a line in this poem about a running account. Which one wasn't a masterpiece? When Lin Xian finished reading, the surroundings were still silent. In heaven, we were willing to be lovebirds. On earth, we were willing to be entwined branches. Heaven and earth are everlasting. Sometimes it ends. This hatred will never end. Blue Sky Sea and many other poems were muttering Lin Xian's last few lines. Repeatedly deliberating, repeatedly muttering. Xiao Xinyue and Xiao Runing were also stunned on the spot. As girls, their thoughts were more meticulous. They could understand the image and content of this poem more easily. They could understand the helplessness of the woman in this poem, her devotion and steadfastness towards love, and her final sorrow. This hatred will never end. When Lin Xian was reading, they felt as though they had finished watching a movie. The ending was a tragedy that made them cry uncontrollably. Looking back with a smile, the beauties of the 6 palaces paled in comparison. In heaven, we were willing to be lovebirds. On earth, we were willing to be lovebirds. On earth, we were willing to be lovebirds. On earth, we were willing to be entwined branches. Blue Sky Sea's eyes lit up. He couldn't help but exclaim loudly. Chapter 867. Following Lan Tianhai's praise, the elders and poetry experts couldn't help but applaud. This is little Xian's work? Yi Qianling couldn't believe it and then asked Xiao Zun. I can't believe it. To be able to create such a long and shocking poem in such a short period of time. It's rarely seen in the world. I'm even suspecting that he plagiarized it. It shouldn't be plagiarism. If such a shocking poem existed before, it would have been passed down through the ages. Moreover, little Xian definitely isn't that kind of person. That's right. Maybe he really is a genius. No, he's a monster. Xiao Runing's grandfather, Xiao Qingqing, was also slowly shocked and pleasantly surprised. This poem was of a level that he had rarely seen in so many years. Furthermore, this was from the hands of a junior. It was truly unbelievable. Lin Xian, did you really compose this poem? Asked Lin Xian. Don't think too much. I just feel that this poem is simply too shocking. To be able to create it in such a short period of time is truly shocking. Lan Tianhai asked. Lin Xian nodded. It was created by me in such a short period of time. It's mainly about a beautiful and sad love story. In the face of reality, in the face of power, in the face of one's lover, one has no choice but to sacrifice oneself in order to achieve one's lover. You don't have to say this. The entire poem gave me a sense of story and scene that I've never felt before. It tells a complete story with ups and downs. This is something I've never felt before from a person or a poem. Only now did I know that poems can be written like this. It's possible to write a life and an entire story. Lan Tianhai said in shock. Most importantly, to be able to write such a classic in such a short period of time, such a high-level poem, I admit that I can't compare to even 1/10 of it. An elder sighed. Yeah, this poem even made my nose ache. This story is too beautiful and sad. The level of this poem is simply too high, especially some of the lines that are even more shocking. Quick, let me see it again. Xiao Qingqing reached out his hand to Lin Xian. Lin Xian handed the poem over. They all gathered there, and then the corners of his mouth twitched uncontrollably. Could her handwriting be any uglier? Lin Tianhai couldn't help but write the entire poem on the blackboard. Everyone took a closer look, and the more they looked, the more shocked they became. Running account. F***CKU. Song of Everlasting Regret, Song of Everlasting Regret, the name of this poem. Lin Tianhai let out a long sigh. Whether it was the name or the poem, this poem was simply too beautiful. Furthermore, the beginning of this poem talks about a very, very beautiful woman, and then it tells a story. The entire poem expresses too many things. It's no wonder that little Xian wrote such a long poem. It's because these emotions and the realistic expression can't be finished with just a few sentences or a dozen sentences. Xiao Qingqing exclaimed in admiration. Xiao Runing was also conquered by this scene. Was this really Lin Xian? Are you kidding me? And Xiao Xinyue. She felt that she had been tricked. She had been tricked by this sister, and also by Lin Xian. The height of this poem was too high. It wasn't enough to shock everyone. If it was spread out, it would be a poem that would be passed down through the ages. She seemed to have lost the bet. And Su Zhiming and the rest had nothing to say. Although they felt that it was impossible. It was really impossible. In such a short time, this quality of the poem. Young Master Lin, isn't the standard of this poem and the time it took to compose it a bit too unbelievable? Forgive me for offending you, but most of the people here might find it unbelievable. Su Zhiming couldn't help but say. So young Master Su thinks that I copied it? No, no, no. I just find it unbelievable. Su Zhiming said. Yes, yes. Writing 840 words in less than 10 minutes. Such an exquisite song of everlasting regret is too exaggerated. We can't compare, but we hope that young Master Lin can prove himself. Everyone was discussing. Prove. Lin Xian rubbed his chin. Then Lin Xian paced slowly. Thinking of clothes in the clouds, beauty in the flowers, the spring breeze brushing the railings. If not seen on top of the Jade Mountain, it would be seen under the moon in the Jade Pavilion. Everyone's eyes suddenly lit up. Thinking of clothes in the clouds, beauty in the flowers. Lin Tianhai couldn't help but mumble to himself in amazement. Everyone, a poem in 3 steps? That's right. Lin Xian only took 3 steps. Su Zhiming clenched his fists. This was another damn poem that would be passed down through the ages. Xiao Runing and Xiao Xinyue's beautiful eyes also lit up. Then Lin Xian paced again. There's a beauty in the north, unique and independent. A glance at her could topple a city, a second glance could topple a country. Everyone, if it's not enough. Lin Xian continued pacing. Bright and clear like the moon covered by light clouds, drifting like the flowing snow returning to the wind. Captivating the birds and fish, shaming the moon and blooming the flowers melancholy. One after another, shocking poems came out of Lin Xian's mouth. Everyone, that's right. They were speechless. And Su Zhiming's face was even more stiff. Then I should have finished explaining how I could compose the 840-word song of everlasting regret in less than 10 minutes, right? Lin Xian asked Su Zhiming. Su Zhiming gritted his teeth and then clasped his fists at Lin Xian. It's young Master Lin's talent. I couldn't wait. Ha ha ha, Xiao Zun and the others' eyes lit up. Good, good. They already knew that their daughter had good taste, but they didn't expect Lin Xian to have such shocking literary talent. They had picked up a treasure. If the 2 of them gave birth to a baby, then wouldn't it be perfect genes with perfect genes? Perfect. No, no, they had to give birth quickly. Their faces were glowing. Lin Xian, their son-in-law, had won them so much face. Sis, is this called not knowing how to write poems? Xiao Xinyue looked at Xiao Runing with some despair. I want to know more. Xiao Runing was also helpless. Lon Tianhai walked down and couldn't help but pat Lin Xian's shoulder. Genius. You're definitely a genius. Every 3 steps you took to compose a poem. Every line and every poem will be passed down through the ages. Lin Xian, it's a loss for the whole continent if you don't further your studies in this field. Lin Xian smiled and then shook his head. No, I'm not interested in this field. Although I love to study, I'm more focused on cultivation now. After all, this is an era where strength is respected. What a pity, what a pity, what a pity. Lon Tianhai let out a long sigh. That. Uncle Lon, it's the song of everlasting regret. Do you think it can be included in the textbook? Of course, of course. Lin Xian grinned. Thank you, Uncle Lon. Then he turned and raised his eyebrows at Xiao Xinue. Xiao Xinue. After that, countless students expressed their hatred for Lin Xian. Because they had an additional 840-word poem, the Song of Everlasting Regret. Who knew how many students it had tortured? Chapter 868. Right now, the one feeling the worst wasn't Qin Ming or Su Jiming, but Xiao Xinue. Because she lost the bet. She had previously vowed that she wouldn't go back on her word because she thought that Lin Xian would lose. Then, reality hit her in the head. Lost, what should she do if she lost? Her mind was currently blank. If she lost, she would have to become Lin Xian's girlfriend. No, she had to go back on her word. How could she become Lin Xian's girlfriend just like that? Although she wasn't someone who couldn't afford to lose, this was a major event in a girl's life. It wasn't something that could be decided by a bet. Although she didn't hate Lin Xian and even had some feelings for him, as a super conservative girl, if she were to become Lin Xian's girlfriend like that, she would even look down on herself. Although she would also look down on herself if she went back on her word. Alright, today's poetry recital will end here. This is also the most amazing poetry recital I've had in so many years. Thank you little Xian for coming. At the same time, I also want to congratulate Brother Xiao on finding such a good son-in-law. Lon Tianhai laughed. Ha ha ha, you're too kind. Xiao Zun couldn't stop laughing. Lin Xian really gave him a lot of face today. Everyone, drink some tea, eat some food, and take a rest. Next up is our last martial arts segment. Little Xian, didn't you say that you would focus more on cultivation? You also want to participate in this martial arts competition? Lon Tianhai looked at Lin Xian and said with a smile. Right now, he was simply too curious about Lin Xian. He even wanted to see if he was as outstanding in martial arts. I don't think so. Lin Xian touched the tip of his nose and said, I do. Yi Qianling nodded repeatedly. Lin Xian. Yi Qianling walked over and patted Lin Xian's shoulder and said, Good luck. Lin Xian. Damn. Since his mother-in-law had said so, then wouldn't he have no choice but to participate? Yeah, then young Master Lin will definitely participate, Su Jiming said with a smile. However, he was calculating in his heart. He had won the literary battle through opportunistic means, but he had great confidence in the martial battle. One had to know that he was the second place of the Ice Capital's Tianwu tournament. At the same time, Qin Ming also had the same thought. He was ranked third in the Tianwu tournament in the Ice Capital. What did it mean for them to be second and third? It was similar to China's Chengdu's ranking in the Tianwu Assembly. In other words, among their peers in this Tianwu Assembly, they were the best in the most prosperous city with the most experts. In other words, they were the best in the entire continent. Would they be afraid of a kid from a third-tier city? If it was a brat from a third-tier city, he might have a slight chance of having literary talent, but in terms of strength, it was impossible for him to compare to the dignified Ice City, the capital of the Ice Country. This time, Lin Xian must participate in the martial arts competition. He must personally take down Lin Xian. Then let's participate. Lin Xian said faintly. That's right. It doesn't matter if you lose. Just treat it as making friends through martial arts. Our poetry and martial arts competitions are all about stopping when it's appropriate. The main purpose is to make friends. All year round, you are busy with other things. Every year, only at this time can you gather together to exchange ideas. This is a rare opportunity, so little Xian, you must seize it. Yi Qianling said to Lin Xian. Understood, Auntie. Rest first. Ning Ning, why don't you peel some fruits for little Xian? Oh, coming. Xiao Runing then unhappily peeled fruits for Lin Xian. On the surface, she still had to show a loving expression. Lin Xian, of course, enjoyed the yuppie scene, especially the envious gazes of the surrounding people. Hey, how did you come up with those poems? Xiao Runing and Lin Xian went to a corner and asked curiously. If you said that Lin Xian was really talented, Xiao Runing really didn't believe it. That's how I wrote it. Come on, are you really that talented? F***ck. Sister, you don't know that I'm talented, but you can't generalize that I'm not talented. I just never showed it to the outside world. Tell me, what could I do when I couldn't cultivate? Other than studying, all I could do was study, right? Lin Xian said. But your sister told me that you didn't like studying. You were always dispirited. Other than playing games, all you did was play games. Lin Xian. That's because she didn't know. On the surface, I was like that. But you also know that I came from an orphanage, so I was more mature. Secretly, I also knew that if I couldn't cultivate, I had to have a skill, right? So I studied in secret. Sigh, you guys don't understand me. Lin Xian sighed. Xiao Runing bit her lips slightly. What Lin Xian had said was simply too true. Furthermore, he had really written such a good poem in front of everyone. But I really like your chief's hate song. The story is so sad and beautiful. Is it true? Are you stupid? Didn't I say that this is the plot of a novel? What novel do you recommend? I want to read it. I can unleash unlimited moves. The author is Yun Jifan. From what I know, he's a handsome guy who is about as handsome as me. Go read it when you have time. Tisk. Xiao Runing clicked her tongue and said, he's definitely more handsome than you. Lin Xian nodded. I agree with you. Then I'll definitely go read it when I have time. I'm not going to chat with you anymore. I'm going to chat with my sister-in-law. Lin Xian then walked away with a smile. Xiao Runing was speechless. Did this bastard like Xiao Xinyue? Xiao Xinyue refused to appear on the same screen as Lin Xian, so she stayed in a corner, quietly drinking a cup of iced red tea and playing with her phone. Then she saw a figure standing in front of her. She slowly raised her head, and her small face flushed red. Little Xinyue, you lost. Lin Xian couldn't help but tease her. So what if I lost? Xiao Xinyue muttered. Then the bet. No. Lin Xian was speechless. Wow. You're actually such a person. In fact, Lin Xian didn't think that Xiao Xinyue would abide by the bet. It was too difficult. Moreover, it depended on the person. Xiao Xinyue was very conservative. It was quite difficult to use a bet to determine her lifelong partner. Xiao Xinyue's small face was slightly red. Then, she helplessly tidied the loose hair in front of her forehead. She looked at Lin Xian and said, I did lose. Breaching the contract was my fault, but this bet is too difficult for me to accept. How about, you name 2 conditions? I'll definitely do it if I can. Sigh. Lin Xian sighed. 3. Xiao Xinyue knew that she didn't keep her promise, and she also knew that it was her fault, so she was very embarrassed. All right, it seems like it's difficult for you. 3 conditions it is. But you can't go back on these 3 conditions, right? Xiao Xinyue nodded. Ding. Xiao Xinyue's favorability towards you +5. Chapter 869. It was really strange for a girl to like a guy more. For example, Lin Xian chose to accommodate Xiao Xinyue, and then her favorability increased. This actually reflected that Xiao Xinyue didn't choose to break the contract because she pretended to be reserved. She really didn't want to. She was very happy that Lin Xian didn't force her. Anyway, there were only 3 conditions. What else could there be? I've already thought about the first condition. Lin Xian said to Xiao Xinyue. Say it. Xiao Xinyue looked at Lin Xian seriously. Kiss me. Xiao Xinyue. Hey, you won't reject this condition, right? If you reject it again, I'll really be heartbroken. Xiao Xinyue. Wow. So uncomfortable. Xiao Xinyue didn't know what to say. Yes, it was easier to accept than being his girlfriend. After all, being his girlfriend meant that in the future, not only would there be kisses, there would also be sex. But right now, it was just a kiss. It was still acceptable. But kissing him like this was too unbearable. But she had already broken the contract once. Could she break it again? If she broke the contract again, she would really look down on herself. And thinking about it, it didn't seem like a big deal. It was just a kiss on his face. Okay, Xiao Xinyue said with a slight sigh. Lin Xian was delighted. Then it's a deal. I'll go to your room when we get home tonight. Xiao Xinyue. Don't go. Go to the little forest next door. Xiao Xinyue said hurriedly. What? You want to go to the little forest with me? Xiao Xinyue. No. The main thing was that she found it too difficult to accept. At home, Lin Xian was in her room. Although she knew that Lin Xian and Xiao Runing were fake, what would her parents think if they saw it? It was better to go to the little forest. Ah no, to kiss in the little forest where there was no one. Lin Xian then said with a smile, why would uncle and auntie think too much? Instead, if we go to the little forest and get seen, they'll think too much. Okay, Xiao Xinyue said helplessly. Hee, I'm going home to kiss my sister-in-law. Just thinking about it makes me feel good. Lin Xian then walked away with a grin. Xiao Xinyue was speechless. What did you say to Xinyue? Lin Xian walked to Xiao Runing's side. Xiao Runing asked curiously. Xiao Runing felt that this bastard had a bad feeling about her sister. It was the feeling of a pervert seeing his prey. This was Xiao Runing's intuition. After all, her sister was indeed pretty. It's nothing. She just wanted me to be her boyfriend, but I refused. Xiao Runing. Dream on. Xiao Runing rolled her eyes at Lin Xian. Hee then tonight, Xiao Ningning, hee. Lin Xian smirked. Xiao Runing. Go to hell. It would have been better if Lin Xian didn't mention it. Now that he did, she was angry and embarrassed. Inexplicably, her first time had been ruined by her own mother. She was also very upset. No, I can't die yet. There are still so many girls waiting for me to comfort them. There are also the Xiao sisters waiting for me. Xiao Runing. Was this bastard serious? The Xiao sisters. Xiao Xinyue and her? Could it be that he really had designs on the 2 sisters? That was too scary. You really should go to hell. Xiao Runing was really angry. She couldn't fight with Lin Xian in this place. Otherwise, she would definitely beat him up. Lin Xian grinned and hugged Xiao Runing's slender waist. This was what angered Xiao Runing the most. In this place, they were a couple. Lin Xian hugging her was super normal. Did you think she could avoid Lin Xian's actions? If she tried to avoid it, she would be caught. That was why Lin Xian was taking advantage of her so unscrupulously. I'm warning you. When we get back to Lin and City, I won't let you off. Xiao Runing said fiercely. Then before we get back to Lin and City, I will make you feel despair. Lin Xian laughed. Xiao Runing. Why did she think of bringing this stinky hooligan home? What a loss. Alright, everyone, please move to the palace's arena. We will now prepare for a friendly martial arts competition. Lon Tianhai said at this moment. Then, everyone left this place one after another. They went out of the hall and walked towards an open-air martial arts arena. Lin Xian couldn't help but be surprised. This imperial palace was really big, and there was even this kind of open-air martial arts arena. The martial arts arena wasn't too big, but the number of people who could sit and watch in a circle was at least tens of thousands. Those who want to compete, please come up to the arena to count. Then, about 20 people walked up. There weren't many because everyone knew that there would be some very powerful geniuses. They were just cannon fodder compared to these geniuses, so they couldn't be bothered to compete. Wasn't that just looking for humiliation? Therefore, the 20 or so people who went up were either top-notch in terms of strength, or they were purely brainless. However, although there weren't many people, they were all elites. Everyone could also see the growth and changes of each person in this year. It was also a very important segment. There were exactly 24 people. Xiao Xinyue didn't participate. Originally, she was prepared to participate in this segment, but because she lost a bet to Lin Xian and had to kiss him, her mood suddenly turned bad. Then, she didn't want to participate. Xiao Runing, on the other hand, participated. She had already agreed to participate. Now, what was she looking forward to? She was looking forward to fighting Lin Xian. Yes, she was very unhappy. She wanted to beat up Lin Xian. Qin Ming and Su Jiming glanced at Lin Xian intentionally or unintentionally. They were also looking forward to fighting with Lin Xian because to them, defeating Lin Xian was equivalent to stepping on his head. It was equivalent to telling everyone that they were stronger than Lin Xian. Telling Xiao Xinyue that he was stronger than her sister's boyfriend. Be outstanding. If you choose me, at least in terms of finding a boyfriend, you will be better than your sister. This was a friendly martial arts competition, not a normal martial arts competition. Therefore, they didn't choose their opponents by drawing lots, but by choosing their opponents. What were they doing by drawing lots? The numbers were from 1 to 24. Starting from number 1, they would choose their favorite opponent and fight with them. Once they had made their choice, the people behind them wouldn't be able to choose their opponent for the time being. They would have to wait for the next round. Therefore, Su Jiming, Qin Ming, and even Xiao Xinyue were praying that no one would pick Lin Xian first. Lin Xian glanced at his number. Damn. Number 24? Does that mean that I'm destined to be the one chosen? Su Jiming glanced at his number. It was number 3. He was very close to the front. He had a good chance of picking Lin Xian. Qin Ming glanced at his number. It was number 12. He glanced at Su Jiming. He knew that Su Jiming must have the same idea as him. However, he didn't know what his number was. Xiao Runing also glanced at her number. It was number 23. Damn. Chapter 870. At this time, Lan Tianhai walked over and said with a smile, "Well, everyone has got their number. Now, stand in order of number." After standing in place, everyone knew who was number. Lin Xian and Xiao Runing stood side by side. The two looked at each other helplessly. For Su Jiming, this was excellent news. As long as the two people in front did not choose Lin Xian, then he would inevitably fight with Lin Xian. Well, Qiyun, you are number 1, so you choose your opponent first. Lan Tianhai said to the man who was number 1. Li Qiyun, the genius of I-City's Li family. His strength was naturally unquestionable. In the entire I-City, he was also ranked at the top. Actually, I also want to fight with young Master Lin. Young Master Lin came from China and has great attainments in poetry and literature. Young Master Lin said that he is now focusing more on cultivation, so I want to exchange pointers with young Master Lin. Young Master Lin it is. Li Qiyun glanced at Lin Xian on the other side and smiled. On the surface, it seemed that only Qin Ming and Su Jiming were targeting Lin Xian. In fact, there were many people in the dark. Because of Lin Xian's extraordinary performance, or to be precise, Lin Xian got the woman they all wanted, they were jealous. Xiao Runing, as one of the top beauties in I-City, was their dream lover. They all wanted to compete with Lin Xian, but Su Jiming's mentality was more serious. Li Qiyun also knew that he definitely couldn't beat Qin Ming and Su Jiming. If he lost, then he would just be looking for humiliation. Then, who would he beat? If he won, he would be able to get higher praise? Obviously, it was Xiao Runing's boyfriend, Lin Xian. In his opinion, Lin Xian was a warrior from a third-tier city. Their age difference was not big, and he had a lot of family resources. What kind of resources could a person from a third-tier city have? No. So what could he use to win against him? F***ck. Su Zhiming cursed in his heart. If the first person selected Lin Xian, what should they do? If Lin Xian lost to him, then wouldn't he have no chance to fight against Lin Xian? But could Lin Xian win? He didn't know. Although he didn't like Li Qiun's strength, he was still an expert. He felt that Lin Xian, a country bumpkin from a third-tier city, couldn't compare to him. That would be awkward. Now, he could only hope that Lin Xian could advance. That way, he would have a chance to fight against Lin Xian in the next round. Xiao Runing was not worried about Lin Xian. She was the one who understood Lin Xian the most among everyone present. No matter what, Lin Xian was also a 5-star Law Realm warrior. In terms of realm, he should be about the same as Li Qiun. In terms of strength, she felt that Lin Xian should be better. Since I'm lucky enough to be chosen as Brother Li's opponent, then I hope we can have a good fight. Lin Xian walked out. The others silently returned to the audience seats and sat down. Good. Then the two of you should get ready. Everyone else might know the rules, but little Xian shouldn't. I'll reiterate the rules here. You can't use martial skills or spirit weapons. You can only fight with your fists and feet. This is also to maximize your safety. However, you can use your respective attribute powers. The rules of winning and losing are the same as the rules of an ordinary martial arts competition. Here, I'll emphasize that this is a friendly fight. I hope that you can stop when necessary. Don't hurt each other and don't get hurt. Lon Tianhai said. Understood. Then get ready to begin. Son, how is little Xian's strength? Xiao Qingqing walked toward Xiao Zun and asked doubtfully. Xiao Zun shook his head. Actually, I'm not too sure. Ask Ning Ning. She should know. Xiao Runing just happened to walk over and heard their conversation. It's all right. It shouldn't be much different from Li Qiun's realm. Around 5-star Law Realm. 5-star Law Realm? It's still a bit low. Xiao Qingqing sighed. It had to be known that whether it was Qin Ming or Su Zhiming, they were both at the domain realm. It's a bit low, but he obtained the Divine Sun system much later than everyone else. Realm isn't the only standard to evaluate strength. The main thing is combat power. Let's see little Xian's combat power first. By the way, Ning Ning, what's this kid's attribute? Xiao Qingqing asked. Xiao Zun and Yi Qianling knew, but as his grandfather, Xiao Qingqing didn't know anything about Lin Xian. Grandpa, you'll know when you see. Xiao Runing kept him in suspense. On the stage, Lin Xian and Li Qiun faced each other. Young Master Lin, this young master is at 5-star Law Realm. Please advise me. I happen to be at 5-star Law Realm too. Please advise me. Lin Xian cupped his fists. Li Qiun frowned. He actually had the strength of a 5-star Law Realm cultivator? Was this still the level of a third-tier city? In fact, third-tier cities lacked powerhouses. Many people didn't dare to go to the demonic beast domain often, so their realms were generally low. Large clans like this didn't lack powerhouses, and they could go out every day. With the protection of powerhouses, it was normal for their realms to rise relatively quickly. However, there was definitely one thing. Within the same realm, under normal circumstances, regardless of martial skills or the like, the people in border cities were definitely stronger. This was because they had all cultivated themselves, and these people had more people protecting them. This was the difference. Hearing Lin Xian's words, many people expected it, and some were slightly surprised. 5-star Law Realm? This age was indeed not bad, but Xiao Runing should be much stronger than him, right? How could someone like him, whose cultivation was weaker than Xiao Runing, still be able to win her heart? This was very strange. Could it really be the power of love? When Su Zhiming and the others heard Lin Xian's realm, they became even more presumptuous. Originally, they might have been a little worried about whether Lin Xian's realm was higher or not. But it turned out that he was only a 5-star law realm cultivator. He really didn't pose any threat to them. That's good. Our realms are the same, so no one has an advantage in this competition between us. Then it's more fair. Li Qiun said with a smile. In his heart, he had already made up his mind to defeat him within 10 moves. Although they were in the same realm, defeating him within 10 moves would already show everyone that he could crush Lin Xian. 10 moves within the same realm was really very rare. It would really be a one-sided crush. Yes, it's more fair. Lin Xian said with a smile. Then, young Master Lin, you attack first. No, young Master Li, you do it. No, young Master Lin, you do it. No, young Master Li, you do it. Everyone, young Master Lin, this is Ice City, where I live. It's just a matter of who makes the first move. You still have to give me face, right? All right. Lin Xian shrugged, and then his aura surged slightly. Whoosh! In the next instant, Lin Xian rushed over. Then, complete silence. Chapter 871. Lin Xian threw a punch at him. What happened next? Li Qiun looked like he wanted to casually catch Lin Xian's punch, but their fists collided. In that instant, Li Qiun's expression changed greatly, but it was too late, and then he directly flew out of the battle arena. Falling out of the arena meant that he lost. Everyone looked at each other, somewhat dumbfounded. How could Lin Xian crush Li Qiun when they were in the same realm? Lin Xian was of the metal attribute? Even if he was, he didn't release any attribute power. He was able to crush him with just his physical strength alone. What the hell? Why is this happening? Even if there's a gap between people in the same realm, it shouldn't be so big, right? In this case, the gap between their strength is at least double. Yes, although Li Qiun might have underestimated his opponent, they're still in the same realm. How could the gap between their strength be so big? Moreover, neither of them released any attribute power. It shouldn't be. Could it be? Lin Xian isn't just a 5-star law realm expert? No, it can't be. It's not good to deliberately hide this kind of thing. Lin Xian should know that too. The people who were watching the fight were discussing animatedly. As for the experts and elders, they were also puzzled. They exchanged glances with each other. Lon family head, do you understand this? An old man asked Lon Tianhai. Lon Tianhai shook his head slightly. I don't understand. That little Xian did release the power of a 5-star law realm expert, and so did Qiun, but the gap between their strengths is too big. Lon Tianhai also didn't understand why. This little Xian is really amazing. Yi Qianling was simply becoming more and more satisfied with Lin Xian. Xiao Runing also didn't understand. Was he really that strong? Lin Xian stood on the stage and smiled at Li Qiun below. Young Master Li, you've misunderstood me. I also mean that if you don't attack first, I'm afraid you won't have the chance to attack. Thank you for letting me win. Everyone, wasn't this a little too pretentious? Li Qiun's complexion was extremely ugly. As the person involved, he didn't understand why. He only felt that Lin Xian's strength just now far exceeded his, and there was no way he could resist. If he was a little more serious, he might be able to exchange a few moves, but even if they really fought, he felt that he had no chance of winning. He could not figure it out. However, Lin Xian's words were too King pretentious. Su Zhiming frowned. How could this be? Just now, it was clearly the power of a 5-star law realm expert. But how could Lin Xian's strength crush him in one move? So it turns out that young Master Lin's cultivation realm is far above 5 stars of the law realm. Li Qiun said to Lin Xian. No, I'm indeed a 5-star law realm expert. It's just that I'm naturally strong, so you might need to pay attention to my strength when fighting against me. Lin Xian shrugged. Everyone, could this be used as a reason? Naturally strong. It wasn't impossible, but you had to have a strong physique, right? No one knew if what he said was true or false, but Lin Xian defeating Li Qiun in one move was indeed a fact. There was no doubt about it. Li Qiun said that just to give himself some face. How could he not know that Lin Xian's aura was indeed that of a 5-star Law Realm expert? Why should Lin Xian give him face? Lin Xian naturally knew that Li Qiun wanted to defeat him to improve himself. He even knew that Su Jiming and the others had the same idea when they forced him to participate in the poetry gathering or the martial arts competition. Since they wanted to slap his face, then what was wrong with him slapping their faces? It had to be said that Lin Xian's ability to knock down his opponent in one move had indeed surprised many people, especially since he didn't crush his opponent with a higher realm. Instead, he was able to produce such an effect at the same realm. This was the most amazing thing, but no one knew why. Was it really because he was strong? Li Qiun didn't say anything and silently sat in the audience. However, his expression wasn't very good. Being knocked down in one move by the opponent in the same realm, who would have a good expression? Then, Lin Xian walked down and silently waited for the others to fight. Little Xian, why is your strength so high? Lin Xian sat beside Xiao Runing. Xiao Zun asked doubtfully. Great strength. Lin Xian said. Is that true? Lin Xian nodded. Yes, it's true. I was born with it. That's an extraordinary talent. Xiao Zun praised. It's all right. Actually, there's also the Hall Master's reason, which is that I often fight. Maybe he doesn't. Lin Xian scratched his head. His realm is the same as yours, so his actual combat experience shouldn't be less than yours. Xiao Runing said. Lin Xian means that young masters like Li Qiun will definitely be accompanied by experts from their families to protect their safety every time they go out of the beast domain. In this way, their improvement in various aspects won't be much. However, Lin Xian is truly alone. Without the protection of experts, he can train himself even more. Yes, this is indeed a very important point. Xiao Zun nodded. Actually, that's not the case. After all, there were many times when Lin Xian went out with Ling Longyue to protect their safety. In fact, they were the same in some aspects, but no one knew. For example, when he wrote a poem, it was indeed copied, but no one knew that it was written by himself. The following battles continued. Lin Xian and Xiao Runing sat together and chatted, admiring the battles. Later, you have to pay attention to Su Jiming or Qin Ming. Xiao Runing reminded Lin Xian. She was extremely intelligent, so she naturally understood why these two people kept asking Lin Xian to spar with them. Don't worry, I'm your husband. Your husband is number one in the world. How can I lose to them? Lin Xian grinned. Xiao Runing, hold your sister's mail. They're in the domain realm. Xiao Runing said. I know, as a genius of the ice capital, isn't it a must to be in the domain realm? After all, Lin Xian had also experienced Xiao Yun and the others in China. They were all in the domain realm. As the ice capital, wasn't it reasonable for there to be a few geniuses in the domain realm? However, Lin Xian had an ability that they couldn't even imagine. The domain realm won in the domain realm. In other words, the martial techniques unleashed by those in the domain realm would be more exaggerated. However, in this battle, they couldn't unleash their martial techniques. This caused Lin Xian to have an advantage in certain aspects. Compared to the battle with Xiao Yun in Heaven Capital, Lin Xian would definitely have an easier time if he were to fight with Su Jiming and the others in the domain realm. This was without a doubt. In fact, Lin Xian wasn't that worried. It just so happened that Lin Xian could test the level of his physical strength. According to what she knew, Su Jiming was a 2-star domain realm cultivator while Lin Xian was a 5-star law realm cultivator. The gap between them was very obvious. Although Lin Xian had several attributes, Su Jiming was definitely not weak. If he was weak, how could he have gotten second place in the Ice Capital's Sky Martial University Assembly? Moreover, Xiao Runing understood Lin Xian better. Many of his martial arts techniques were powerful. Without martial arts techniques, how could he win against Su Jiming under normal circumstances? Although she felt that Lin Xian wasn't the kind of person who would do something he wasn't confident in, but the reality was too difficult, so she would rather gamble with Lin Xian. If she won, she would torture him to death. Let me tell you something first. Su Jiming has dual attributes of darkness and lightning. Right now, it's night time, when the darkness attribute is at its strongest. Although your spatial attribute is powerful, his realm is much higher than yours. If you insist on competing attributes, your spatial attribute can be instantly broken by him. However, his darkness attribute isn't something you can compare to. The difference between their realms is too great. Xiao Runing said. Yeah. Lin Xian sighed and nodded. Xiao Xinyue, something was wrong, something was wrong. Just now, when Lin Xian made a bet with her, he looked as if he didn't have much confidence, which made her feel that her chances of winning were higher. Just like now, she was sighing, but he still crushed her. It couldn't be the same now, right? Wah. This man was too evil. There were tricks everywhere. She finally understood. Pay. But Xiao Xinyue also felt that if a normal Law Realm cultivator and a Domain Realm cultivator purely competed in terms of strength, speed, and other aspects, it would be fine. If Lin Xian was an 8-star or 9-star Law Realm cultivator, it would be fine, but a 5-star. Was he really not confident? But there's nothing absolute in this world, right? Not being able to use martial skills or spirit artifacts is actually beneficial to me in a certain way because the martial skills released by a Domain Realm cultivator are too terrifying. That's your confidence. Xiao Runing looked at Lin Xian. No, I feel that not using martial skills or spirit artifacts is more of a test of actual combat ability. Fist techniques, leg techniques, movement techniques, and so on, I feel that I'm quite outstanding in this aspect. He's also from a wealthy family. How much worse can he be compared to you? Xiao Runing felt that Lin Xian was a little too arrogant. She felt that this was not good. He had probably never fought with a Domain Realm cultivator before and did not know how much stronger a Domain Realm cultivator was compared to a Law Realm cultivator. However, if she knew that Lin Xian was also at this realm back in Tiandu and had even defeated Xiao Zun, who was equally outstanding, she probably would not think so. Unfortunately, she did not know. There was also another point. Although he could not use martial skills or spirit artifacts, there was no rule that said he could not use laws. Although the other party definitely had laws, Lin Xian felt that there were not many laws that could compare to his creation laws. So if I win the bet, can I raise 2 conditions with you? Lin Xian asked with a smile. Wishful thinking. TSK, then forget it. Lin Xian shrugged. The battles on the field ended one after another, and in the end, 12 people advanced. The 12 people went on stage again to draw lots and draw numbers. This time, Lin Xian drew 12. F***CK. Lin Xian really wanted to curse. Why was he always the one who was chosen? Then, Lin Xian silently looked at Xiao Runing beside him. That's right, the 2 of them were the last 2 people. It was very helpless. This was also quite fated. Lin Xian, let's see how you run this time. Qin Ming, who drew number 1, smiled slightly. He was a 1-star Domain Realm cultivator, and his attributes were relatively ordinary. Wind and water. Wind was a rare attribute, but his personal strength was still not bad. He also got 3rd place in the Qianwu tournament, but if Xiao Runing participated, he probably would not have gotten 3rd place. However, he was still a Domain Realm cultivator. It was impossible for him to be afraid of Lin Xian, who was a 5-star Law Realm cultivator. Qin Ming, choose your opponent, Lan Tianhai said. Many people thought that he would choose Su Jiming. He lost in the Qianwu tournament, but he could win back the face at this time. Young Master Lin, to be honest, among all the people here, I want to fight with young Master Lin the most. Although young Master Lin's realm doesn't seem to be too high, I think the gap between us shouldn't be too big. Moreover, I saw the battle between young Master Lin and young Master Li very clearly. Young Master Lin is very strong, so I want to personally experience it. So, I want to fight with young Master Lin. Qin Ming smiled. Chapter 873. Lin Xian shrugged. When he saw that the first person was Qin Ming, he had already guessed it. Everyone was secretly speechless. Basically, everyone knew that Qin Ming was at the domain realm. Everyone had more or less seen the outcome of a battle between a domain realm cultivator and a law realm cultivator. However, it was precisely because of this battle that there might be a different kind of attraction. Why? In fact, on one hand, everyone really wanted to see Lin Xian being defeated because of jealousy. On the other hand, it might come from Lan Tianhai's seniors. They wanted to see how great Lin Xian's potential was. They wanted to know what would happen if he fought a 1-star domain realm cultivator with the power of a 5-star law realm cultivator. Alright, then I hope young Master Qin will show mercy. Lin Xian smiled at Qin Ming. Of course, I also hope young Master Lin can surprise me. I will. The corners of Lin Xian's lips curled up. If I beat Qin Ming, does that mean I won the bet with you? Lin Xian then quietly asked Xiao Runing next to him. Xiao Runing thought about it. Qin Ming had both wind and fire attributes, and his realm was much higher than Lin Xian's. Lin Xian would not have an easier time fighting Qin Ming than fighting Su Zhiming. Of course. Then what if I defeat him and Su Zhiming? Xiao Runing, that would be equivalent to you losing the bet twice. You would owe me 2 bets. Lin Xian said. Xiao Runing, can you win? I'll give it a try. Anyway, if I lose, there's no next round. All right. Xiao Runing nodded. You said it. Lin Xian's lips curled up. Why did Xiao Runing have a bad feeling about this? Illusion, illusion. How could a 5-star law realm cultivator fight a domain realm cultivator? I'll head down first. After Xiao Runing and Lin Xian finished speaking, they walked down the stage. Only Lin Xian and Qin Ming were left standing on the stage. Elder Xiao, what do you think? Lan Tianhai asked. In the end, the law realm and the domain realm are not on the same level, so there's basically no way to fight them. Xiao Qingqing said. But I think that since little Xian agreed, he might have some confidence. What do you think? Xiao Qingqing nodded. That should be the case, but we've all come from these realms, so we understand the gap between these 2 realms better. Let alone a 5 or 6-star difference, even if Lin Xian is an 8-star, 9-star, or even 10-star low realm cultivator, the difference in strength, speed, physique, and other aspects of this realm is too great. It's very difficult to fight him. That's why I look forward to it even more. Young Master Lin, you go first. Qin Ming looked at Lin Xian and said. No, 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 you do it. Qin Ming. This again. Young Master Lin, don't tell me you also think that if you attack first, I won't have a chance to use my hand? Qin Ming smiled. Lin Xian shrugged. That won't happen. After all, young Master Qin is at the domain realm. In terms of strength, how can I compare to young Master Qin? Then you might not have a chance to attack with this punch of mine. Qin Ming said. Then come at me. Qin Ming's eyes narrowed. Okay. Then I won't be pretentious. Take this. Whoosh. In the next instant, Qin Ming's figure disappeared from the spot and appeared in front of Lin Xian at an unimaginable speed. With a powerful punch, he directly punched at Lin Xian. Too fierce. This is the domain realm. And the most important point is that Qin Ming is of the wind attribute. Even if he doesn't use the power of the wind attribute for the time being, his speed is not something that Lin Xian can compare to. With this speed, I feel like I can't dodge at all. Xiao Runing, Xiao Xinyue, and even the people from the Xiao family looked at Lin Xian nervously. On one hand, they hoped that Lin Xian could bring about some miracles. On the other hand, they hoped that he wouldn't be injured. If this son-in-law was injured, wouldn't the plan to make a baby be delayed again? However, the next scene made everyone look incredulous. Everyone thought that Lin Xian might try to dodge, but he didn't. He met the punch with force. Bang! The two fists collided. Both of them staggered and stopped. Lin Xian staggered about 7 to 8 meters back while Qin Ming staggered about 3 to 4 meters back. This punch seemed to be Qin Ming's gain, but he was at the domain realm. Shouldn't his strength be able to crush Lin Xian? With this punch, shouldn't Lin Xian be sent flying while Qin Ming didn't move at all? Why did Qin Ming stagger? Everyone was puzzled. You said that you were born with great strength, but it couldn't be so great that you could almost contend with the difference of a realm, right? Qin Ming frowned. How was that possible? How could he be so strong? His grand domain realm strength was only able to suppress his strength by a tiny bit? How was that possible? Lin Xian's strength was naturally not that strong, but Lin Xian had exchanged for an attribute that doubled his strength. The effect of this exchange would become more and more monstrous as his realm increased. The strength of a 5-star law realm expert would be doubled. In terms of strength, it should be about 9 or even 10 stars of the law realm, right? Compared to a 1-star domain realm expert, there was only a difference of 1 major realm. Then how did Lin Xian make up for it? Very simple, creation law. Lin Xian secretly released a little bit of the law of creation to increase his strength. The law of creation could instantly heal his injuries, increase his speed, or increase his attributes. It couldn't be any easier for him to do that. In this way, Lin Xian's strength was indeed not much worse. However, this scene was too unbelievable to the surrounding people. Isn't the difference in strength a little too small? Maybe it has something to do with Qin Ming not releasing his full strength, but he's also at the domain realm after all. It's indeed too unbelievable. What's the reason? It was a reason that no one could think of. Xiao Runing's mouth was also slightly agape. How was that possible? How did he do it? Xiao Xinyue asked. I want to know too. Then did you lose the bet? I want to know too. Xiao Xinyue. Young Master Lin's strength is really strong. It makes me feel that you're not a 5-star law realm expert anymore. Qin Ming forced a smile. Of course, it's just that I'm born with great strength. There's no other way. All right. Then let's continue. Qin Ming's expression froze. He seemed to have won that move just now, but in fact, he had lost because he was at the domain realm. He couldn't crush Lin Xian at the domain realm. It was simply embarrassing. But now, Qin Ming was really serious. He couldn't look down on Lin Xian anymore. His wind attribute surged, and his speed was so fast that some people who weren't at a high realm couldn't see him clearly at all. It was dazzling. However, Lin Xian's speed suddenly skyrocketed. Although he wasn't as fast as him, he wasn't that much slower. Chapter 874. Lin Xian had exchanged for double the speed attribute and created a law to increase his speed. Didn't you want to slap my face? Then who was slapping whose face now? You're a domain realm martial artist with the wind attribute. In terms of strength and speed, you're higher than me, but not by much. This scene made everyone even more incredulous. This bang bang bang. The two figures intersected and collided at an unimaginable frequency in the dark night. Some people who were not strong enough could not catch their tracks. Why does Lin Xian have twice the speed and strength of his realm? Xiao Runing was dumbfounded. Wasn't this too exaggerated? It was completely unbelievable. Martial techniques. No, he couldn't use martial techniques. Moreover, everyone saw it. Where were the signs and power of martial techniques released? After more than a minute, the two of them separated. Lin Xian shook his hand. Don't say, it hurts a little. Everyone, F*CKU. Are you trying to act cool? Normally, it was too normal for a 1-star domain realm cultivator to be insta-killed when fighting a 5-star law realm cultivator or a 5-star law realm cultivator. You've been fighting with the other party for a minute, and during that time, you haven't even lost, yet you're saying that it hurts a little? Are you saying that the power of a domain realm cultivator only hurt you a little? The corner of Qin Ming's mouth twitched. He also wanted to know why a 5-star Law Realm cultivator was so terrifying in terms of speed and strength. It was fine if they were terrifying, but if they collided, they would be injured, right? But they weren't. Because Lin Xian had also exchanged for double the physique attribute. Young Master Lin, are you really a 5-star Law Realm cultivator? Qin Ming asked with a frown. I'm the real deal. Su Zhiming also frowned. They knew better than those powerhouses whether he was a 5-star Law Realm cultivator or not. He definitely was, but what was with these attributes that far exceeded that of a 5-star Law Realm cultivator? Could it be that this is the difference between fighting alone all year long and having an expert accompanying you in battle? Isn't this too big? Lon Tianhai said. Impossible. It's normal to have a difference, but it's definitely not normal to have such a big difference. However, in terms of actual combat, Lin Xian does have the advantage. If it weren't for the difference in realm, Qin Ming would have lost. Qin Ming gritted his teeth and charged towards Lin Xian once again. He couldn't drag this out any longer. Even if he won, it would only be a narrow victory. He would be the one losing face. Sorry, you are of the wind attribute, but I am of the ice attribute, so I might be able to restrain you. The corners of Lin Xian's mouth curled up, and then his body was surrounded by ice attribute energy. The entire stage was frozen by the ice attribute, and the ice attribute countered the wind attribute. Do you think this young master only has the wind attribute? Yes, your ice attribute does restrain this young master, but this young master also has a fire attribute that can restrain your ice attribute. Qin Ming shouted, and raging flames burst out. Then, at an extremely fast speed, the raging flames condensed in front of his fist and blasted towards Lin Xian. Sigh, but, in terms of strength, how can your fire attribute compare to my lightning attribute? Lin Xian smirked. Buzz buzz buzz, purple lightning flashed. Boom! What? In the next instant, they collided again. Purple lightning? This Lin Xian actually has both the ice and lightning attributes. The most important thing is that this is purple lightning. It's an extremely rare purple lightning, the strongest lightning of the lightning attribute. Compared to the blue lightning, purple lightning is more than twice as strong. I haven't seen it for many years. In a collision between the fire and lightning attributes, the lightning attribute definitely has the advantage, but the realm. Before that person could finish speaking, Qin Ming's figure had already flown out of the stage and landed on the ground. Everyone. What's going on? Everyone looked at each other. Yes, your lightning attribute is indeed better than the fire attribute in terms of strength, and you are even a purple lightning, but one was a fire attribute released by a domain realm cultivator, while the other was a lightning attribute released by a law realm cultivator. This difference wasn't something that could be made up for by attributes. But why was Qin Ming blasted down instead? It was actually very simple. It was just that Lin Xian released an even stronger law of creation, doubling his own attributes. Lin Xian's law of creation allowed his strength to double. That instant increase directly allowed Lin Xian's pure strength to reach the domain realm, so it was normal that he couldn't compete. Qin Ming landed on the ground and even felt as if a lifetime had passed. He wasn't injured, but he had already lost. As the person involved, he had lost in a daze. It went against common sense. Everyone whispered and looked at each other. This is too unbelievable, right? With a 5-star law realm strength, he actually won against a 1-star domain realm cultivator in terms of attributes. This is impossible. In theory, it's indeed impossible. The difference of these few stars is too great. If a normal 5-star law realm expert is an infant, then a 1-star domain realm expert is a 10-year-old child. There's no way to compare the two, but an infant defeated a 10-year-old child. Would you believe it if I told you this? What kind of monstrous son-in-law did the Xiao family find? Xiao Zun, Xiao Qingqing, Yi Qianling, and the others were also pleasantly surprised and in disbelief. This son-in-law was too fierce, right? Could their daughter take it? This was a victory that completely went against common sense. If you won with a martial technique that far surpassed the other party's grade, this was very normal. For example, Qin Ming had released an Earth-rank martial technique, and you had released a Heaven-rank martial technique. A Heaven-rank martial technique could make up for the difference in realm between you two, but without a martial technique, just pure strength, speed, and attribute strength, Qin Ming was instantly defeated. I won, right? Lin Xian then silently said. Of course you won. Little Xian, I'm very curious how you did it. You did release a 5-star law realm strength, but how can you compare to a domain realm cultivator? It's too unbelievable. Lon Tianhai stood up excitedly and asked Lin Xian. This was definitely a monster. It's just that my strength is great. Maybe my attribute purity is also relatively high, so this slightly makes up for the difference. Lin Xian said. Attribute purity. Yes, 100% attribute purity. Everyone, no wonder it's purple lightning. It turns out that it's 100% attribute purity, but, even so, it shouldn't be. Lon Tianhai was still puzzled. Then I don't know. Maybe it's because of the other party? Lin Xian asked. Everyone, Qin Ming. The other party's reason? What did that mean? What else could it mean? The other party was too weak. The corner of Qin Ming's mouth twitched, and he secretly gritted his teeth. Young Master Lin's strength is indeed strong. I was careless. Without a martial technique, young Master Lin should be invincible in the same realm. I admit defeat. Qin Ming said unwillingly, but his words gave him leeway. Carelessness, no martial technique. Many people were more willing to believe that he was careless. If that wasn't the case, then Lin Xian was too terrifying. He could easily fight across realms. Chapter 875. One had to know that this was a 6-star realm. How difficult was it to defeat a 6-star opponent in the same realm? And this was a major realm gap. Su Zhiming frowned. This unbelievable outcome made him panic a little. It was really too unbelievable. God knew how much of a sensation Lin Xian had brought to these people in this battle. It had even subverted their worldview of martial arts. A 5-star law realm cultivator had defeated a domain realm cultivator. No one would believe it. Lin Xian then cupped his fists at Qin Ming. Thank you for letting me win. Then, Lin Xian walked down. After walking down, Lin Xian was greeted by Yi Qianling, Xiao Zun, and the others. Lin Xian naturally couldn't expose himself, so he gave an ambiguous answer. Perhaps the other party was really weak or had gone easy on him. That's right. In fact, although many people found it unbelievable, they felt that Qin Ming had gone easy on him or had really been negligent. Of course, Lin Xian was indeed strong. After all, everyone had seen that he didn't lose to him by much. But everyone basically felt that if they really fought, Lin Xian wouldn't be Qin Ming's match. Moreover, Qin Ming hadn't released his laws yet. Yi Qianling knew that Lin Xian still had the spatial attribute, which meant that he still had it. If he had held back but still won against Qin Ming, he might be stronger. Xiao Ningning, you lost. Lin Xian grabbed Xiao Runing's hand and rubbed it unscrupulously. After all, they were a couple in front of everyone, so Lin Xian could take advantage of her. How did you do it? She had indeed lost, but compared to losing, Xiao Runing wanted to know more about this unbelievable thing. My laws. Lin Xian wouldn't hold back too much from the woman he had decided on. It didn't matter if he told them about laws. Your laws? To increase your strength. You can do that. Increase strength, speed, and so on. No wonder. If there were laws, and you were at the same level, you should be stronger than him. That would explain it, but can laws make up for it? Just how high is the grade of your laws? Xiao Runing was a little confused. How can your husband be bad? Lin Xian laughed. In fact, many people had guessed that Lin Xian had released the law. Otherwise, it would be too inconceivable, but they did not say anything. Because it could only be explained by the laws. The laws, combined with the purple lightning, and a strength that might indeed be different from that of an ordinary person, it was possible. On the other side, Su Jiming walked towards Qin Ming and sat beside him. How could he lose? Su Jiming asked. I advise you not to fight with him. You will lose too. Qin Ming sighed and said. How is this possible? Do you think I'm holding back? No, I really unleashed the power of a one-star domain realm expert, but I still wasn't able to defeat him. At that time, his strength had also reached the domain realm. Of course, it doesn't mean that his cultivation base is at the domain realm. It just seems that his strength has increased. Qin Ming said. You mean, the laws? Qin Ming nodded. That's the only explanation. It's a pity that my laws don't have much effect on Az, so it's useless. However, his laws should be a kind of amplification law that can greatly increase his speed and strength. It can even allow him to unleash the purple lightning attribute, and his strength will reach the domain realm. The purple lightning is still very strong. Humph. You are you, and I am me. Don't forget that I have the dark attribute. Although my lightning attribute isn't the purple lightning, it's not weak either. Moreover, my laws are much more useful than yours. Then I wish you good luck, Qin Ming said. Although he felt that Su Jiming could defeat Lin Xian under normal circumstances, after fighting with Lin Xian, he inexplicably felt that it was very difficult. This Lin Xian was clearly very weak, but he could unleash such power. It was very mysterious. He inexplicably felt that he was really not a match for Lin Xian, and he did not understand why he had such a feeling. If he wanted to use martial arts or something, he would definitely win if he fought with all his strength. Look at the gap between you and this young master. After saying that, Su Jiming walked away. Why did he inexplicably feel that Lin Xian might win against Su Jiming instead? One match after another was finished, and everyone was very happy to watch, especially when they were able to watch Xiao Ru Ning's battle. Not to mention anything else, this woman was really beautiful. Just looking at her was a kind of enjoyment, and they could not understand how much her boyfriend, Lin Xian, was enjoying himself. Alright, there are still 6 people left. It's getting late. Let's fight one last round with 6 people. Let's form groups of 2. After that, everyone can go back and rest. At this moment, Su Jiming stepped forward and said, Just now, when I saw that young Master Lin could actually defeat young Master Qin, who is at the domain realm, I found it unbelievable. So, I wonder if young Master Lin can fight with me? Let me feel young Master Lin's strength. Young Master Lin, what kind of strength can a 5-star law realm cultivator have? Su Jiming's words naturally won the respect of everyone. They wanted to see how Lin Xian won, and they wanted to see whether he was lucky or not. Previously, when he fought with Qin Ming, they did not see it clearly, and they did not think about it. This time, if he could fight with Su Jiming, everyone would definitely look very carefully to see what was different about him. So, they were all looking forward to Lin Xian agreeing to this battle. Okay, but I hope young Master Su will go easy on me. Lin Xian smiled. No, no, no. You being able to defeat young Master Qin proves that your strength absolutely cannot be treated as an ordinary 5-star law realm cultivator. I will fight with you very seriously, Su Jiming said with a smile. Then what if young Master Su fights seriously and loses? Lin Xian's inexplicable words stunned Su Jiming. Winning or losing is normal. Since young Master Lin can defeat young Master Qin, then you might indeed have a chance to defeat me. However, this young master has to remind young Master Lin that I have the dark and lightning attributes. It's night now, and it's the time for the dark attribute to shine, so young Master Lin, you really might not be able to win. Su Jiming said with a smile. Is that so? Lin Xian rubbed his chin. Then let's fight, Lin Xian said with a shrug. Everyone, they kept feeling that Lin Xian had confidence, but where did this confidence come from? Previously, Qin Ming's wind was restrained by his ice, and his fire could not resist the attack power of his lightning. Now, however, Su Jiming was also a lightning and dark attribute. His advantage was completely gone, and his realm was even suppressed. Relying on his seemingly innate strength? It would be very difficult. In front of the dark attribute, strength was not worth mentioning. However, it was precisely because of this, and because of Lin Xian's agreement, those powerhouses were all more curious and prepared to watch this battle. "Young Master Lin, do you want to rest?" Su Zhiming asked. "No, let's hurry up and finish the battle. After this, I still have to go home and sleep." Lin Xian stretched and said, "Okay. Then I won't be unreasonable with you. Take this." Chapter 876. Su Zhiming could no longer underestimate Lin Xian. After all, Lin Xian had defeated Qin Ming. Therefore, for this first move, Su Zhiming directly released the lightning attribute. Lightning wrapped around his fist. His speed was not as fast as Qin Ming's, but he was still at the domain realm after all. His speed was not slow at all. Competing in strength, is it? The corners of Lin Xian's mouth curled up slightly. Under normal circumstances, Lin Xian would definitely not be able to compare to this kind of gap. However, he had a bug-like law of creation. Everything could be controlled by his will. The consumption of spirit energy was actually acceptable. It was almost equivalent to using the spirit energy of an Earth-stage martial technique in battle on this law of creation. Lin Xian stood there with purple lightning wrapped around his right fist. "Since you want to embarrass me, then I'll let everyone see who's the one who's embarrassed." He can't be going to compete in strength with Su Zhiming, right? Su Zhiming's realm is 1 star higher than Qin Ming's, and he's also at the domain realm. Moreover, he has the lightning attribute. How can they compete in strength? Crazy. This is really the first time I've seen a 5-star law realm cultivator dare to compete in strength with a domain realm cultivator. Although he did win against Qin Ming previously, the lightning attribute Su Zhiming. When those people saw this scene, they were all dumbfounded. They felt that it was inconceivable. It was completely beyond their understanding. Courting death. When Su Zhiming saw this scene, the corners of his mouth curled up slightly. Did he still think that he was Qin Ming? Boom! In the next instant, the two of them collided with a fist accompanied by lightning. The entire martial arts arena was filled with lightning and dust, blocking everyone's vision. Whoosh! Suddenly, the two of them jumped out of the range of the dust, and the distance between the two of them was not much different from when they collided. This was the most exaggerated. It can't be that this move is 50-50 again, right? When the people saw this scene, they could not help but be dumbfounded. Crazy. What's wrong with this world? They looked at each other. Xiao Runing frowned. Just how much could Lin Xian's laws strengthen him? The difference between a 5-star law realm cultivator and a 2-star domain realm cultivator should be around 4 times in terms of pure strength, so a difference of 10 times in terms of overall combat prowess was normal. Even if Lin Xian was extraordinarily talented, he would only be able to close the gap slightly. The rest would be made up for by his laws of nature. The power of a single law was almost enough to make up for the difference of a 7-star domain realm cultivator, and there was even a major domain realm cultivator in between. This increase was a little too exaggerated. Su Zhiming was even more shocked. Watching others fight was always just watching. If he didn't experience it for himself, he would never know. But when he experienced it for himself, he realized that this was a F***king monster. Under normal circumstances, his strength should have been able to crush Lin Xian, but it was only 50-50. Wasn't this Lin Xian's law too fierce? Young Master Lin, the power amplification of your laws is really strong. It can amplify your power by more than 3 or 4 times. Su Zhiming looked at Lin Xian and said, "So it's a law." Hearing Su Zhiming's words, everyone also understood. But even if it was a law, it also meant that the grade of this law was very powerful. Normally, it would be good if you could double a power amplification by 3 or 4 times. Well, more or less. Lin Xian nodded. Unfortunately, my law just happens to restrain you. Because my law power is the law of weakening, it weakens the opponent's power by half. The more you amplify, the more it weakens. And you should be able to feel it now, right? Yes, Lin Xian did feel that his power had been weakened. It should be because when they exchanged punches just now, Su Jiming had released his law power on him. Normal law power was targeted at oneself. Only at the domain realm would there be many buffs targeted at the opponent. Therefore, Lin Xian didn't expect that Su Jiming's law power was actually to weaken the opponent. But I feel it. Then, young Master Lin, do you admit defeat? Lin Xian smirked. Why should I admit defeat? My wife said that if I beat you, she will give birth to my baby. I have to work hard. Xiao Runing. Yi Qianling looked at her daughter Xiao Runing with interest. I didn't say that. Xiao Runing blushed. Bastard, bastard. How could he say such words in front of so many elders? Not embarrassed at all. What's there to be embarrassed about? Look at how hard Xiao Xian is working for you. Yi Qianling patted Xiao Runing's head. Xiao Runing wanted to cry but no tears came out. Ha. Young people, it's good to have a baby sooner. Lon Tianhai smiled. Su Jiming frowned. Then I'd like to see how you, with your power weakened by half, will fight with me. With that, Su Jiming charged at Lin Xian again with lightning wrapped around him. Xiao Runing looked at Lin Xian worriedly. He had increased his strength, and it was a terrifying increase. However, he had also reduced his strength by half. For example, his strength was previously 10, but now he had increased it by 4 times. That was 40. Now, it was only 20. Only with 40 would he be able to fight Su Jiming on par. 20 meant he would be crushed. Lin Xian was also wrapped in lightning again, and the two of them punched each other again. What? When everyone saw the next scene, they looked at each other, dumbfounded. He had originally thought that Lin Xian would have a one-sided advantage, but they were actually still 50-50. The two of them pulled apart the distance between them. What's going on? How is this possible? Su Jiming's eyes widened. Why didn't his laws work? That. If my strength is quadrupled, and you reduce it by half, then I'll be the same as before. That seems to be the case. That move just now was about the same as before. Lin Xian said. Everyone. What? Does that mean Lin Xian's law power is quadrupled, and that's not all? He can do it again? What kind of law is this? This is the most F***ing terrifying law I've ever seen or heard of. It's several times stronger than the strongest law. Isn't this too scary? Doesn't that mean that he's invincible in the same realm and can easily fight those of a higher realm? Of course it's easy. Didn't you see that Su Jiming, who's at the domain realm, didn't have any advantage? Invincible. This kid will be heaven-defying when he grows up. Xiao Zun, Xiao Qingqing, and Yi Qianling also looked at Lin Xian with incomparable surprise. His daughter had really picked up a treasure and brought it back. You. Su Jiming looked at Lin Xian in disbelief. After a few seconds, he said, That's really terrifying. I didn't expect young Master Lin's law to be so strong. But, young Master Lin, don't forget that I also have the dark attribute. After saying that, Lin Xian was fixed in place. You increased your strength, not your realm. If that's not your true strength, then can you break free from my domain realm? Chapter 877. How had Lin Xian dispelled his negative nomological powers? Simple, creation law. He created a debuff removal effect for himself, so the law was naturally useless. However, the consumption was not low. After all, it was a law released by a domain realm expert. Today, Lin Xian suddenly realized something. F***ck, with this law of creation directly creating all sorts of attributes for him, this cross-level battle was really as easy as flipping one's hand. Unless the gap was too big, Lin Xian could fight against this kind of domain realm expert with his 5-star law realm strength. Even if he went all out, it would still be about the same. It would be difficult to be stronger. But this was already very exaggerated. However, there were limitations, although this limitation was not big. One of the limitations was that if it was a normal battle, Lin Xian's spiritual power would not be able to hold on for long if he had to release martial arts techniques and creation laws to continuously fight cross-level battles. Secondly, everything was based on the opponent's laws and domains being ordinary. The world was big and full of strange things. There would always be many laws and domains that could be particularly disgusting. It might even make Lin Xian helpless, making creation laws helpless. The simplest example was, if a person released a domain, what kind of debuff would the area he created bring to Lin Xian? Normal laws would only affect Lin Xian alone, but his domain was an area. The spiritual power consumed by the creation law to remove the debuff on himself and the debuff on an area was not proportional. Therefore, strength was the most important thing. The second was spiritual power. When everyone saw that Lin Xian was bound by shadow fixation, they sighed in their hearts. Yes, after all, Su Jiming was of the dark attribute and was at the domain realm. How could a 5-star law realm expert break free from shadow fixation released by a domain realm expert? He could break free, but he would need time. It was impossible to break free in an instant. Take this. Seeing that Lin Xian could not move, Su Jiming punched again. Whoosh, however, this punch of his missed. What? Everyone's eyes widened. What was going on? Lin Xian had already appeared on the other side of the arena. Shadow fixation had not broken free yet. Space. It's space. An expert suddenly thought of this possibility. What? Fixed image can't move, but he used the space attribute to move the small space he was in, thus achieving movement. This brat. Ice, lightning, and space attributes? What kind of monster did the Shao clan find? Space. If it was ice, lightning, or a dark element, I might be able to accept it. But if it's one of the rarest time and space elements, I really can't compare. I was already so excited to have a lightning attribute, not to mention a spatial attribute. Now, there's a triple attribute with spatial attributes. Sigh. The surrounding people were extremely shocked. Yi Qianling knew it, so she was fine. However, when she heard the shocked voices of the people around her, she couldn't help but smile. This son-in-law of his was really giving him face. Su Jiming also widened his eyes. He also had the space attribute. A sense of inferiority arose spontaneously. What did he force Lin Xian to do? Other than this realm, what else was there? He was even crushed by Lin Xian in all aspects. Could he win? He couldn't win. The dark attribute was nothing in front of the space attribute. These two attributes were different, but they had something in common. The space attribute was really strong. Everyone would admit this. Lin Xian used a few seconds to break free from the shackles of fixed image. Fixed image was fatal. In a real battle, not to mention 1 second, even 1 second of fixed image could cause you to die without a burial ground. However, Lin Xian, who had the space attribute, could escape immediately and at the same time, had time to break free from fixed image. I didn't expect young Master Lin to have the space attribute. If that's the case, I'm afraid it'll be difficult to end this match. Let's end it here. No, young Master Su, Lin Xian said at this time. Su Jiming looked at Lin Xian. I have to defeat you. If I don't, what if my wife refuses to give birth to my baby? Lin Xian said. Su Jiming, then I admit defeat. You win. Su Jiming then walked down the stage with a smile. However, his heart was filled with hatred. He knew that if he continued to fight, regardless of whether he won or lost, he would lose. He was at the domain realm and couldn't face Lin Xian. If he really lost to Lin Xian, it would be even more embarrassing. Therefore, he directly admitted defeat. This way, no one knew whether he would lose to Lin Xian or not. More people still felt that he wouldn't lose. Too shocking. It's really too shocking. I didn't expect to see such a battle today that can almost topple us. Lon Tianhai said in shock. Yeah, he can face a domain realm cultivator as a 5-star law realm cultivator and not lose. Under normal circumstances, a Law Realm cultivator would be instantly killed. It's really toppling us. His poetry is so sharp, and his combat talent is so strong. Elder Xiao, your Xiao family has found a good son-in-law. Xiao Qingqing said with a smile, it's not bad. It's barely passable. In fact, he was overjoyed. He had face. Lin Xian then walked down the stage and walked toward Xiao Runing. How is it? I won. Lin Xian said with a smile. If you win, you win. Xiao Runing mumbled to herself. So you lost the bet. Xiao Runing, Xiao Xinue. I knew it. She didn't know how her sister would be taken advantage of by this Lin Xian. Why was she so unhappy? Xiao Xinue thought. Alright, everyone, it's getting late. Let's go back. Little Xian, if you have time, come here and see Uncle Lon. I like you a lot. Lon Tianhai said to Lin Xian with a smile. Of course. Okay, go. Then, they all left. The shock that Lin Xian gave them today was simply too great. As for Su Jiming, he really couldn't win. He tried to steal a chicken only to end up losing the rice used to lure it. Xiao Runing's grandparents lived in Imperial Palace, so they didn't go back. However, they agreed to have a meal together tomorrow and have a good chat with Lin Xian. On the way, Xiao Zun and Yi Qianling praised Lin Xian. Xiao Runing was especially unhappy. However, she had to admit that Lin Xian really shocked her and everyone else. When they got home, Yi Qianling said to Lin Xian, Little Xian, go take a shower and sleep early. Okay, Auntie. Ning Ning, don't forget what you said to Little Xian. If he wins, you'll give birth to his baby, right? Mom remembers. Do you still need Mom to remind you? No need. Xiao Runing said with grievance. She didn't say that. Bastard. Okay, then you and Little Xian can rest later. Lin Xian, Xiao Runing. Chapter 878. In Xiao Runing's room, Lin Xian looked at her with a smirk. What are you laughing at? Xiao Runing glared at Lin Xian, took off her jacket, and hung it on the hanger. I'm laughing at you for losing. If you lost, then you lost. Tell me your conditions. Conditions? Lin Xian rubbed his chin. I want to have sex tonight. Xiao Runing, F***ck your mother. She really wanted to curse. Get lost. Xiao Runing walked into the bathroom with a face full of shame and anger. Sigh, women are all bad people who don't keep their words. Lin Xian grumbled in an aggrieved manner, and then lay down on Xiao Runing's fragrant bed. 10 minutes later, Xiao Runing walked out, wiping her wet hair. Get lost and take a shower. I'm not your woman. Why do I have to take a shower every day in the middle of winter? Lin Xian refused. Also, you've really changed. You wouldn't yell at me in the past. Lin Xian said, feeling wronged. Xiao Runing, yes, she wouldn't yell at Lin Xian in the past. But King came to my house and had sex with me. Who would feel good if that happened to you? Hurry up and take a shower. Otherwise, I won't let you on the bed. You must be sweating after fighting with someone today. Okay. Lin Xian shrugged and walked into the bathroom. Hey, Xiao Ningning, can you take out your underwear first? Lin Xian's voice came from inside. Xiao Runing. Her pretty face immediately flushed red, and she hurriedly rushed in. Bastard. Lin Xian hummed a tune as he took a shower. Xiao Runing sat on the bed with a red face, doubting her life. Really, this Lin Xian was her nemesis. Not to mention the flirting before, even here, because of her mother, she lost her first time. Sigh. Did she really have to let him be her partner for life? But, he was so perverted. Xiao Runing was very confused. Lin Xian came out 5 minutes later. What are you thinking about? Lin Xian saw Xiao Runing sitting there in a daze and asked. Nothing. Xiao Runing shook her head. Then go to sleep. I want to have sex with you. Lin Xian smiled as he sat beside her and hugged her delicate body. Go to hell. Xiao Runing pushed Lin Xian's hand away. But you lost the bet. My condition is to have sex. Lin Xian said. Normally, he wouldn't dare to say this, but they had already had sex, so it was different. If there was a first time, then a second time was easy. If there was a second time, then there would be countless times. No. Change it. Xiao Runing Lin Xian gritted her teeth and said. Sigh, forget it, so be it. Time to sleep. Lin Xian looked disappointed. He wrapped himself in the blanket and lay down, his back facing Xiao Runing. Xiao Runing Lin Xian. Hey. She wasn't Lin Xian's girlfriend. She had no obligation to do that with him. But, she did lose the bet. Let's sleep then. Xiao Runing Lin Xian turned off the lights and crawled under the blanket with her back facing Lin Xian. Then, the whole atmosphere became silent. After about 5 minutes, Lin Xian's hands began to move. He first turned around and then hugged Xiao Runing. Xiao Runing's delicate body suddenly trembled. Xiao Ningning, turn around. Lin Xian whispered into Xiao Runing's ear. Don't bother me, go to sleep. Xiao Runing mumbled. However, Lin Xian found that she didn't remove his hand from her body. Instead, she held his hand tightly and didn't let him move. This was actually extremely good news. I want a kiss. Lin Xian whispered. Xiao Runing did not respond. Then, Lin Xian smiled and flipped to the other side of her, which was in front of Xiao Runing. Xiao Runing opened her beautiful eyes and saw Lin Xian's naughty smile in the dark. Don't move. Xiao Runing rolled her eyes at Lin Xian. The corners of Lin Xian's mouth curled up as he kissed Xiao Runing's cherry lips. There was no need to say anything else. Just like that, Xiao Runing was conquered by Lin Xian step by step. Ding! The next morning, Lin Xian opened his eyes and looked at Xiao Runing in his arms. He revealed a naughty smile. This Xiao Runing was more or less taken. All that was left was to wait for her mission to be triggered. Even if it wasn't triggered, it didn't matter. Lin Xian felt that he was really a scumbag, but his luck was really good. Which girl around him wasn't beautiful and outstanding? But he just let Lin Xian take advantage of her. What kind of logic was this? Lin Xian then rubbed his face against her hair and closed his eyes again. Xiao Runing slowly opened her beautiful eyes and looked at Lin Xian's side profile. She sighed softly. Why did she and him last night? Oh God. She wasn't a woman who didn't know how to reject. Some girls really didn't know how to reject, but she wasn't one of them. But why couldn't she reject Lin Xian? Was it because this bastard was too naughty? At first, she was determined to refuse. But after being kissed by him, her whole body and mind slowly fell into his hands, and then he gave her a slap. This wasn't what she wanted. After about 2 hours, Xiao Runing woke up after a short nap. She wriggled out of Lin Xian's arms. At the same time, Lin Xian opened his eyes. Good morning. Lin Xian couldn't help but kiss her pink cheeks. Go away. Xiao Runing rolled her eyes at Lin Xian flirtatiously. Lin Xian grinned. I'm going to get up. Xiao Runing said with a red face. Get up. Turn around. Xiao Runing gritted her teeth and said. Wow. Xiao Ningning, we're so familiar with each other, and it's not like I haven't seen it before. Why are you still shy? Turn around. Xiao Runing's voice became louder. Lin Xian then quietly turned around and lay down. Xiao Runing quickly put on her clothes. I asked someone to buy a few concert tickets. Let's go see it together at 8 tonight. Xiao Runing stood at the bathroom door and said to Lin Xian. My dear wife, I'll go if you go. Lin Xian smiled. Get lost. Xiao Runing rolled her eyes at Lin Xian again and then went to wash up. Comfortable. Lin Xian stretched and then put on his clothes. He walked in while massaging his waist. Xiao Runing saw Lin Xian massaging his waist and couldn't help but blush again. Bastard. Xiao Ningning. Give me a massage later. My waist hurts. No way. Wow. I'm tired because of you. Xiao Runing. Did I ask you to move? Xiao Runing looked at Lin Xian unhappily. But in the end, you were the one who grabbed my arm and told me not to stop. Xiao Runing. Get lost. Oh, okay. Lin Xian then walked out with a smirk. Xiao Runing looked at her pink face in the mirror and took a deep breath. Was Lin Xian her nemesis? Why did it feel like she was mad at him, but it wasn't real anger? So annoying. Chapter 879. Downstairs, Xiao Xinyue was sitting quietly on the sofa, reading a magazine. She was quite similar to Han Chuxue. Her every move was polite, but the difference between them was that Han Chuxue was colder than her. Xiao Xinyue was more like a cold girl next door with a bit of a strong career woman. She was also more serious. It wasn't that Han Chuxue wasn't serious, but sitting there, one was an ice beauty, and the other was a colder girl. Anyway, they each had their own characteristics. If you put them together, you wouldn't think that they were made from the same mold. Xiao Zun sat on the other side, drinking tea and reading newspapers. Yi Qianling and a few maids were busy. Xiao Xinyue and Xiao Zun were calmly drinking tea and reading newspapers. It was as if they were people from two different worlds. They didn't care about the world at all. I say, you two, can't you help me with something? Your grandparents will be here at noon. Yi Qianling rolled her eyes at them. What can we do? You'll say that we're causing trouble later, right? Xiao Zun asked Xiao Xinyue. Xiao Xinyue nodded. Yes, and Lin Xian and sister didn't do anything, right? You compare yourself to your sister? Your sister has more important things to do. Yi Qianling said. Then she looked at the time. It's already 10 o'clock, and your sister and Xiao Xian still haven't come downstairs. It seems that they really went to bed quite late last night. Yi Qianling said with satisfaction. Xiao Xinyue. This mother was really indecent. I say, Mom, don't always rush them. Xiao Zun said helplessly. Don't rush them? How can I not rush them? It's not like you didn't hear Xiao Xian say that he hasn't touched our eldest daughter more than a few times. If I don't rush him, when will we get a grandson? Xiao Xinyue, Xiao Zun. Okay, as long as you're happy. At this time, Lin Xian came downstairs. They all looked at Lin Xian. Xiao Xian, you're awake. Hurry and eat something to fill your stomach. Yi Qianling said cheerfully. Thank you, Auntie. Ning Ning hasn't woken up yet. She's up. She should be coming down soon. Well, hurry up and eat something. At noon, the family ate a meal together. Xiao Qingqing and the others also chatted a lot with Lin Xian. In any case, they were very satisfied with Lin Xian. The Xiao family didn't place much importance on things like matching families. The Xiao family was a big family. They didn't need their daughter's other half to be rich and powerful. As long as he was outstanding, it was fine as long as their daughter liked him. To be honest, in the current era, no matter which era, which world, such a family was really rare. After eating, they went shopping again and then went home. Mom, we went to the concert. Xiao Runing changed into a set of cultivation clothes and shouted. Okay, go ahead and have fun. Then Lin Xian, Xiao Runing, and Xiao Xinyue walked out together. They didn't even drive because the stadium wasn't too far away. They could take a walk and chat on the way. The concert started at 7 p.m. It was 5 p.m. now, but because of the weather, it was already a bit late. When are you going back? Lin Xian asked Xiao Runing. Xiao Runing said, in the next few days, I have already done what I need to do. After watching the concert, there will be nothing left to do. I don't want to stay at home anymore. I think it's good to stay at home. Lin Xian said with a smile. Get lost. Xiao Runing rolled her eyes. Good, but what about her? Torture. Little Xinue, look at your sister. As their daughter, she wants to leave just like that. She doesn't even want to spend more time with her parents. Don't you think that's right? No. Xiao Xinue said faintly. Hey. Even little Xinue said that it's wrong. Xiao Runing, this guy definitely thought that he could take advantage of her in I City, in the Xiao family, but after leaving, he couldn't do it anymore. Bastard. But, it's time to go back. Xiao Xinue added. Buy the tickets tomorrow and leave the day after tomorrow. Xiao Runing said. He still wanted to stay in I City and take advantage of her? Dream on. Lin Xian shrugged his shoulders. Okay. There were a lot of cars and pedestrians on the road today. Lin Xian had been here for a few days and had gone out to play a few times. Logically speaking, it was just after the new year, and the closer it was to the end of the year, the more people there would be. However, today was an exception. There was a traffic jam on the road, and there were a lot of pedestrians. Most of them were young people, and most of them were couples. Moreover, they were heading in the same direction as Lin Xian and the others. Don't tell me they're all here to watch the concert? Xiao Runing nodded. The I-City Gymnasium can accommodate 130,000 people. It can be considered a top gymnasium, and 130,000 people will definitely be full, so there will be 130,000 people coming to the I-City Gymnasium one after another. Lin Xian. Damn. What kind of celebrity is so famous? 130,000 people in a concert with a full house? Even if Lin Xian didn't chase celebrities, watch dramas, or listen to songs, he could still roughly hear some news. A normal A-list celebrity would hold a concert in a stadium with a capacity of 70,000 to 80,000. Because of that, the stadium wouldn't be full. 130,000 people in a stadium, and it was full. This should be a super A-list celebrity. An Xian, you've never heard of her? Lin Xian. An Xian? Lin Xian suddenly remembered the beautiful girl he met on the plane. Wasn't her name an Xian? Could it be her? It couldn't be so coincidental, right? Moreover, didn't celebrities have to make a big show when they appeared? How could she be the only one on the plane? Even if she chartered a plane or took a private plane, it would be normal. It shouldn't be her. It's a pity that her tickets are too difficult to buy. Even in the first second when the tickets are sold, it's hard to buy them. The software directly jams. When it's not jammed, the tickets have already been sold out. I had to ask someone to buy 3 tickets for the inner field. Although it's the inner field, the seats are very ordinary. They're in the back row of the inner field. The front row was the kind of area that was very close, and even celebrities could interact with each other. It was a pity that it was impossible to buy tickets in such an area. Those who could buy tickets were the children of destiny. 130,000 people in a stadium, the back row of the inner field. That's still very far. What's there to see? Lin Xian shrugged his shoulders. There's no other way. I tried my best, Xiao Runing said helplessly. But you also chase celebrities? Lin Xian asked. I'm not chasing celebrities. I just like her songs a lot. There must be a lot of her songs in New Moon's song list. Since she's holding a concert in I City, I'll go and take a look. At this moment, Lin Xian's phone rang. You're tuning in to the Narrate and Escape YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.